Auburn in the Indy Classic on Saturday. I'm Kirk Darling for 93.5 and 107.5 The Fan.
It's a new season with a new QB.
Football is back.
And so are Bud Light Blue Fridays. Every week, join JMV starting at 3 for ice-cold Bud Light specials, football talk, and chances for you to snag tickets to Colts games and get some amazing swag on us. And get in on the football toss for a chance to win a trip to Las Vegas for your shot at Super Bowl tickets. Join JMV this Friday at 3 at Whiskey Business North on Pendleton Pike. Bud Light Blue Fridays.
Dan owed an unbelievable amount of money to the IRS.
I got behind on my taxes. It's a horrible feeling.
He was in denial.
And when I got those letters from the IRS, you wanted to act like they didn't exist.
Finally, Dan turned to Optima Tax Relief, the leading tax resolution firm. A-plus rated by the Better Business Bureau, they've resolved over $1 billion for their clients.
Optima got me a settlement with the IRS. These people are really people-friendly. It was every bit of a new lease on life for me.
The fast action and the great results made Dan's head spin.
I felt like I was in a dream, but it's real, and I have paperwork to prove it. They got the job done, and life is good.
For tax help you can trust, call Optima now for a free consultation.
If you're worried about what's going to happen with the IRS, stop worrying. Make the call now.
Call 800-354-2840. 800-354-2840. 800-354-2840.
Optima Tax Relief.
Testimonial from an actual client. Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
From the DriveHubler.com studios, this is 93.5 and 107.5 The Fan.
WIBC HD2, W298BP, WIBC HD3, W228CX, Indianapolis.
Big hole for Jonathan Taylor. There he goes again. 50, 40, down the far sideline. He might do it again. 10, 5, touchdown! INDY! The Eastern Conference Championship has been captured by the Indiana Pacers.
Alex Pillow wins the 109th Indianapolis 500.
This is the Fan Morning Show with KB, JB, and Jeff.
Good morning. The week rolls on. Christmas getting closer every day. New Year's Day is getting closer every day, too. And that means Indiana playoff football. Good morning, everyone. James Boyd, Kevin Bowen. It's the Fan Morning Show. We've got week 15, 16 for the NFL. Can you believe we've gotten, James, to week 16 in the NFL already? Flying by.
Yeah, I feel like I always count down the year based off of the weeks when it comes to the NFL calendar. And it always goes by fast for me because you're working, trying to tell stories, trying to keep up with the latest things in the NFL. So it is par for the course for your boy. Yeah,
then it goes on, and you and Kevin will be out there again today. And Kevin, I know everybody wants to see what's going on with the Phillip Rivers experience at this point in time. What are some of the other things you will keep your eagle eye on today when you head out to West 56th?
Yeah, again, everything pushed back a day this week with how the Colts have operated here on the Monday night schedule. I must say, though, before we get into Colts news items, I'm driving down to work here on this Thursday morning. Shout out to Caleb Zuber. Caleb, thanks for coming out of the bullpen. Always a great addition to the show. Mark Dykton absent. And I was unfamiliar with why Mark was out. Not that I need to be in Mark's business, but, you know, I'm driving. All of a sudden, I look over at Governor Mike Braun's mansion as I'm driving down Meridian, and there in a Ditka mustache is Mark Dykton in the front lawn chanting, "Bricky Bull, Bricky Bull, Bricky Bull."
It could happen.
The Chicago Bears in Northwest Indiana.
It could happen.
James Boyd, what would the
The region.
NW Times or NWI Times?
The Times of Northwest Indiana.
The Times of Northwest Indiana. How about that news item? Kevin Warren, that's some leverage that he's throwing out there. The first place he mentioned was Northwest Indiana.
That was pretty funny. Honestly, people had all the jokes ready. East Chicago Bears, like it's already set up for you.
Remodel the Bricky Bowl. Maybe don't even remodel the Bricky Bowl. Maybe it's good to go.
I have written about the Bricky Bowl in the past.
I like the Gary Bears myself.
How about the Steelyard in Gary? Can, turn the baseball diamond into a little...
Much like the Patriots went New England, do you go Chicagoland Bears? What do you do up there?
I don't know, but it certainly is funny just because every single Chicago Bears stadium update I've kind of gotten over the last year or so has gone in reverse. None of it has been anything going forward,
right,
or progress in that direction. So Yeah.
They move the ball like the Colts offense with Phillip Rivers.
Yeah, I can't wait to ask my family about this, and it will be so funny to have two Indiana teams. And you better believe I would never call them Chicago Bears again.
So what NFL teams, I was thinking about this, obviously you have the New York teams. Are there any other NFL teams that play in a stadium that's not in their state?
Oh, yeah. I mean, well, I don't know about their state, but there's a few that aren't in that city.
I mean, Jeff obviously brings up the New England Patriots. I mean, that, you know, that.
Because San Francisco doesn't play in San Francisco anymore.
Right, that's
they
down in
play in Santa Clara.
I mean, there are definitely several NFL teams that play.
But I don't know about the state thing. The state thing is crazy. I still think that it's ridiculous to call the New York Jets and Giants the New York whatever. It's in New Jersey. Period.
So for those that missed it yesterday, Kevin Warren, the COO of the Bears, released a statement to their fans, a long, long statement. And in the stadium update, which, how about the timing of this? Like, Bears-Packers Saturday night is one of the biggest games that franchise has had in years. They released a stadium update where basically saying Arlington Heights, where the new stadium was going to go, at least at the thought, it doesn't sound like that is happening. And one of the areas that he mentions that they could possibly pursue is Northwest Indiana. So shout out to the region there. Governor Mike Braun tweeting about it last night. So look at that. 49 states, it's just football. But this is Indiana, right?
That's how we do it.
College football in Bloomington and 2 NFL teams.
Hoosiers have changed everything. This is the place to be for football. I read that letter that Kevin Warren wrote. Did you read the whole thing, Kevin?
I'm not going to lie. I kind of skimmed it and then really saw the Northwest Indiana part and then read that.
He was extremely, almost a love letter to the fans, but said very kind of matter-of-factly that the folks in Chicago and Illinois didn't look at their new stadium proposal in Arlington Heights as any kind of priority this legislative session.
Then you got to use the leverage of the 219. There you go.
The 219. I didn't even know what the prefix was up there. That's the 219 up there?
Yes, indeed.
Man, got to love that. So, yeah, that was interesting. I read that right before I went to bed last night. I was reading that letter, and I thought, okay, there's a little bit of pressure. There's no way, though, they end up not playing somewhere in the Chicago, Illinois region, though, right?
Gosh, you imagine, James, Caleb Williams running for touchdowns in the Bricky Bowl. How great would that be? How awesome would that be?
I think someone pointed out on social media that they originally were founded as the Decatur. They were a Decatur franchise.
Well, and Scotty can confirm this. I mean, they did training camp at Rensselaer for quite a while there at St. Joseph. So, that obviously is a topic for the back burner here. The front burner would be the Colts. And certainly today, James, is going to be a newsy one, you would think. You know, we will get clarity on whether Anthony Richardson indeed will practice for the first time in over 2 months. And the injury list is notable. I mean, heading into Monday night, exactly what is the latest on Bernhard Raimann and that elbow? And then defensively, as great as your unit played on Sunday, you could be getting 2 of the best players easily on that side of the ball back. Now, I will stress, but we'll see about DeForest Buckner and a second week of practice for him. And then does Sauce Gardner practice for the first time since he injured that calf? I believe that was the last day of November. So, those are definitely the news items to keep an eye on for today.
I just have a question, and we kind of talked about it yesterday, but why is it okay for Phillip Rivers to get up off the couch after 5 years of not playing in the NFL and be NFL ready, but young, healthy, fit, amazing athlete Anthony Richardson, who I'm guessing hadn't just stopped working out altogether, needs a ramp-up period to get back into football shape? Those two things don't correlate to me, James.
So I believe...
Unless it's just...
he did stop working out for a very long time. Yes, he broke his face. He couldn't do anything. So the medical orders were literally do nothing. So just to clarify that for the people listening, this was a very severe and serious injury that required him to not do a lot of day-to-day things that we take for granted, like sneeze. He couldn't even sneeze. I mean, obviously you can't really control that, but the doctors tell you, please try your hardest
if I can't sneeze.
Not to sneeze. You have to sleep probably sitting up or something because you can't sleep on your face. You can't run. You can't do a lot of things when your face is fractured. So, I get your point overall, Jeff, and I think it's probably one that
it's just a thought that went through my head yesterday.
But, just to clarify, no, he literally could not do anything.
Maybe 7:30 we can play that audio. I know Mark cut it yesterday, and Caleb, let's save that for 7:30 because it was a question Shane Steichen did field on Monday. I'm curious if and when Anthony Richardson gets cleared, could you involve him in some short yardage at the very least? That was something they really didn't encounter in Seattle at all. The one short yardage was Taylor got stuffed. Granted, it was a false start. It actually worked out for you that it was a false start there. So, does any of that get explored at all? So definitely something to pay attention to today.
All right, we got that. Pacers back on the floor tonight. You got to get going again. They've lost 4 of their last 6. The Knicks coming fresh off their NBA Cup championship. Kevin, you're hopeful that they will be having the celebratory hangover from said cup.
Well, the injury report indicates some guys are definitely nursing some things, so they have a slew of dudes listed as questionable. So anytime you see this, I'm always curious what exactly that'll mean for their availability. Vegas clearly thinks some guys are going to be out. It's only a 4-point spread. So Jalen Brunson, Mikal Bridges, good to go. But outside of that, you have Karl Anthony Towns questionable. I believe Mitchell Robinson's questionable. OG Anunoby's questionable. I think Josh Hart might be the other one of note there. And Deuce McBride is out. So, yeah, this is a great scheduling opportunity for the Pacers. That's probably the best way to put it. And it's kind of wild to say that they're looking for their first win over a team above 500. We'll see if they get it against potentially let's call them a tired Knicks team. Don't want to group everybody in the hangover, but maybe just a tired Knicks
Just
team.
go get it. The guys I see on the injury report right now, and maybe you can correct me, I see Nesmith, Shepard, and other than like the guys are going to be out for quite some time. Is there anybody else on there that's dealing with anything right now that I'm just missing?
Toppin.
Yeah, Toppin's, but he's out till February, right?
Right.
So maybe this is as healthy as they've been in a while, other than Nesmith, right?
Well, Nesmith and Shepard, yeah.
Right.
I mean, I guess, again, that's like saying the most attractive Bowen at Christmas.
It's a good-looking family. Why are you going there? Saw your Christmas card yesterday. It's a good-looking family.
Well, I was talking more about my brother and my father.
It didn't take him long to get there, did it, James?
KB's like, look, I bet my batting average is pretty good in the dating pool. Everybody else.
Really hope that they're not listening.
Yeah, something tells me it all gets back to them. My wife never listens, and she knows everything that ever happens.
You guys think Mark Dykton will picket outside Governor Braun's mansion all day?
I don't know about picket, but I think you're right, though. He'll just start pruning and cutting lawn and stuff like that and just trying to kiss up to him, don't you think?
Do the Bears have chance? Like, is there like a big Bear, like JETS or Go Pack Go? Is there a Bears thing?
I mean, here's my thing. Of all the days Mark could miss, right? Like, this would be the one that Mark should be in here. But
literally,
we should wake him up.
Literally.
No, let's not. Do not wake him up. Okay. That was a joke.
He don't want that.
Well,
Yeah.
let's be honest. He's already awake.
I was about to say,
probably.
yeah, dude's up.
Yeah.
If Mark, if you're listening and you want to participate, go ahead and call in.
Did he have a statement on Twitter last night? We probably should check his Twitter account.
Probably wrote one out, right?
Well,
nice font and everything with a little rugged background and everything.
I mean, after he attacked you with that Phillip Rivers re-entry, I think you should be able to dance on Mark Dykton's grave a little bit today.
I thought that was funny, though. Be honest with you. So, all right, coming up in a moment, we'll check it down. We'll get you ready to go for Thursday. Tell you about a huge football game in the NFL later on tonight and get the very latest on the Colts and what's going on there. We'll take your thoughts and comments all day long at 239-1070. You can do that on the text line. You can also call us up on the phones. Caleb in for Mark Dykton today, and we are good to go on a Thursday morning.
The Ride with JMV.
The one criticism that you have about, well, you didn't prepare. Nobody was talking about wanting to prepare with the backup quarterback earlier this year. And I know some of you are going to say, well, I mean, Daniel Jones does have a history with the Giants of an injury. Maybe you should have had somebody else on the ready. Well, I mean, they did have somebody else on the ready until he about popped his eyeball out trying to stretch before a game, and now he's no longer on the ready.
The Ride with JMV.
Weekdays 3 till 6.
On 93.5 and 107.5. The Fan.
With over 100 online casino-style games, Chumba Casino is your destination for nonstop entertainment. No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. See terms and conditions. 21+.
Join JMV this afternoon at Coach's Tavern for Larceny Bourbon Locks and Luna's Old Tequila Shots. He'll do a deep dive and share his picks for this week's games. That's this afternoon at Coach's Tavern. No matter where you're headed, it's nice to know Hubler's got you covered for 200,000 miles. Visit drivehubler.com or any of the 13 Hubler locations.
Welcome to Wawa. We're open 24/7, so when the sun goes down but everyone's still up, Wawa has your late night fuel. Headed to a hangout? Stop in for snacks and sodas. Binge your favorite shows with burgers and hoagies. gather around the table with garlic knots and a cheesy Wawa pizza. Or just chill on the couch with fries and whatever milkshake sounds good. Your night just got a whole lot tastier. Freshly made burgers, pizza, and so much more. When you got a late night craving, you got a Wawa. Price and participation may vary by store.
All right, We Grow Hair Indy. They are the best in the business. They call the 317 home specifically. They're up on the northwest side of Indy. Boy, northwest side is pretty popular right now in our state or in our city. But right there at the Pyramids, building number 2, and they're the best in the business. They are the gold standard when it comes to hair restoration, and they are ready to help you out today. Answers to the questions that you may have, it is available to you. WeGrowHairIndy.com. That is the website. And Darren Andrews and his staff are ready to help. Very informative. And again, I think at the very least, you just owe it to yourself. It's been kind of wild, honestly, how many people have reached out to me over the last couple of years asking me about, hey, what was that like? Can you answer this question? Can you answer that question? I happily do that, but I encourage them, hey, it's a free evaluation. Contact them. They are the best in the business, and you deserve some answers to then make a big decision off of that. Again, it is We Grow Hair Indy, the gold standard for hair restoration.
It happens every holiday. Food comas, piles of wrapping paper, Uncle Harold's asleep in the recliner. It's only $5.45. But then, Cousin John rolls in with holiday scratch-offs from the Hoosier Lottery. Starting at just $1, they're the perfect gift for making the most of the one time of year all 30 cousins are gathered together in one living room. Unwrap instant fun with holiday scratch-offs. Hoosier Lottery, champions of play. Must be 18 or older to play. Gift responsibly.
You'll get more than you expect with McValue at McDonald's. Like deals on your late night go-tos when the party goes till dawn. And savings on their faves. So date night always passes the vibe check. Plus, when the fam shows up for the weekend, you can show out for breakfast.
Enjoy a $3 sausage McMuffin with egg or egg McMuffin and pair it with a $1.49 any size Coke. Price and participation may vary, cannot be combined with any other offer.
This Christmas, get a bonus AI Essentials course when you enroll in any My Computer Career IT program by the end of the year. That's a $3,900 value. Attend classes online or on campus. Enjoy lifetime job placement support and IT certifications in high demand. Go to mycomputercareer.edu today and take the free career evaluation. That's mycomputercareer.edu, an elite CompTIA certification partner. Conditions apply to AI offer and financial aid is available to those who qualify, including the GI Bill.
Hey, it's Jake Query. I've been talking a lot about winning football in Indy lately, but how about winning lunch? You could lose lunch with an overpriced sandwich meal or average greasy fast food, but why would you want to do that? It's so easy to win with lunch with Chicago's Pizza. Right now, the Chicago's Pizza team is prepping fresh ingredients and freshly made crust ready to bake right before you arrive. You can get deep dish pizza, traditional pizza. You can choose thin or crispy crust. All amazing. And you can add a large healthy salad with homemade ranch dressing from the salad bar, hot fresh made breadsticks with marinara or cheese sauce, a fountain drink and dessert pizza. And you have a winning lunch right there at a great price. It's fresh and delicious, all for just $13 all in. This is a no-brainer deal. Get in, get great food, and get out fast. It's Chicago's Pizza all in $13 lunch buffet. Get it weekdays from 11 a.m. to 1:30 p.m. at 18 Indiana area locations, 25 statewide. Find the closest location near you at chicagospizza.com. Be a winner at lunch at Chicago.
With Wawa's Rewards program, you can rack up points on the items you buy every day, even fuel. Boost your totals with a breakfast sizzly. Score points with your morning coffee. With Wawa Rewards, points put the power in your hands. You can choose to redeem them for what you love most, like an iced latte for an extra pick-me-up or your lunchtime hoagie. Download the Wawa app today. When you gotta get rewarded, you gotta Wawa. Fuel rewards not available in New Jersey or were legally prohibited. See full details at wawarewards.com. Price and participation may vary by store.
Actual price will depend on product and subscription plan. Featured products are compounded drug products, which the FDA does not approve or verify for safety, effectiveness, or quality. Prescription products require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. See website for details, restrictions, and important safety information.
Want a boost in and out of the bedroom? Hims has you covered. Introducing a new 2-in-1 approach to level up your game. Tadalafil for better bedroom performance and zinc for testosterone support. Put it all together and you've got what you need to turn things all the way up. Getting started is simple. Just go to hims.com/joy to start your free online visit. Through Hims, you can access ED treatments including pills, chews, and more. 100% online. No office visits, no pharmacy lines. Just fill out a simple intake form and a licensed medical provider will determine if treatment's right for you. If prescribed, it ships free and discreetly to your door. Find affordable treatment options at up to 95% less than brand names at hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy, HIMS.com/JOY.
The Morning Checkdown on 93.5 and 107.5 The Fan.
Good morning, everyone. A lot going on. The Colts are back at it today. It is a Monday Night Football week, so they're just a day behind on everything. The Phillip Rivers experience continues. James Boyd, as this thing develops and goes on, what are we looking for this week from the Colts?
Some offense that is perhaps a little bit more down the field. I think that is the big question we have for Phillip Rivers today and going forward into the 49ers game. Can you play a little bit more than just dink and dunk?
And it's not like the game plan was specifically meant for them to play it close to the vest, just put themselves in good positions for third down and try to matriculate down the field. I can't say it this morning.
Quite the word. But, yeah, that is what they're telling us. But physically, can he do it? We'll find out.
Yeah, other things that we'll be keeping an eye on today, Kevin Bowen, Sauce Gardner, DeForest Buckner. Anybody else that you're going to see if they're out there participating?
Yeah, Bernard Ryman, definitely throw him into the mix. You know, the Colts had gone, James, 12 straight games, I think, with their starting tackle duo. Then Braden Smith, we see, gets hurt in the Jacksonville game. So now we know it'll be Jalen Travis, the rookie, who I thought did a nice job. Jim Bob Cooter was complimentary of him yesterday, and we'll see if it's Luke Tenuta getting, I believe, his first NFL start. It would be coming up on Monday night. Now, one thing to point out, San Francisco's the worst sack team in the NFL. So on paper, you know, if there ever is going to be a week to be down, you know, your two tackles, obviously you don't want any of that to happen, but Phillip Rivers getting the ball out rapid fire and the worst sack team in the NFL is not a bad time to have it happen.
All right, that is what's happening out at West 56 today. Later on tonight, the Rams and Seahawks play for supremacy in the NFC West. Kevin, both teams are 11-3. Puka Nacua taking a flamethrower to the NFL officials yesterday, calling them the worst, while on a live stream with popular internet streamers Aiden Ross and Neon, or N3On. I think they say it Neon, though. He says, quote, James, the refs are the worst because some of these guys, some of the rules aren't. These guys are lawyers. They want to be on TV too, bruh. They just want to be on TV so they make calls. How's that going to go for Puka?
He probably going to have to pay a lot of money and a fine. But, yeah, that whole stream was interesting, to say the least. And I think that someone needs to get in his ear and tell him nothing good can come of that. And he looks like, quite frankly, a moron doing that.
Yeah, probably the most, controversial thing that he said was, quote, you don't think he's texting his friends in the group chat like, yo, you guys just saw me on Sunday Night Football. Like, that wasn't pass interference, but I called it. These guys are normal human beings, bro.
Yeah, probably not the most controversial thing he did on that YouTube stream. Seriously, he needs to have somebody talk to him about how to be an adult.
Anyway, tonight, Rams, Seahawks, both 11-3 at this point in time. Here in Indianapolis, the Pacers will host the New York Knicks. Knicks fresh off that victory in the NBA Cup. 7 o'clock tip, 6:30 airtime. Pacers have lost 4 of their last 6. They get ready to take on the Pelicans on the road on Saturday as well. Any other Pacers nuggets you want to drop in today, Kevin Bowen?
Yeah, Ben McMathern did say yesterday, you know, the toe injury feels like it's definitely still bothering him. And I think that's kind of the difficulty in this Pacers season. It's, you know, whether Nembhard or Mathurin or Siakam, you know, anything that they're dealing with, it's just hard to look at them and say, hey, why don't you sit for a couple games? I mean, you're in such a dire need to have those guys carry so much of the heavy lifting for you here. So, again, you're only a 4-point underdog. So I think a lot of that has to do with the Knicks' availability for tonight, how many of them do play. Outside of Jalen Brunson and Mikal Bridges, it sounds like a lot of those normal Knicks players will be iffy. So good schedule opportunity for the Pacers. We'll see if they can take advantage.
All right. Also, big news that we talked about a few moments ago. If you're just joining us and didn't see it last night, the Chicago Bears say they will now explore a potential new stadium in Northwest Indiana because their efforts to try and build one in Arlington Heights in the Chicagoland area, just north of Chicago, seem to be stalled out, not going anywhere. For his part, the governor of Indiana, Mike Braun, says, quote, the Chicago Bears recognize Indiana's pro-business climate, and I'm ready to work with them to build a new stadium in Northwest Indiana. This move would deliver a major economic boost, create jobs, bring another premier NFL franchise to the Hoosier State. Let's get it done. Having said all that, guys, what do you think the actual percentages of the Bears moving to Northwest Indiana would be?
1% for me. I just feel like, first of all, whatever plan they throw out there, I think is a 1% chance because none of it ever happens. So until they actually put a shovel in the ground anywhere, I won't believe any of their plans for it, whether it's building in Indiana or Illinois. But I think the percentage is very low. It's probably just a leverage play.
It's much, much cheaper.
Exactly.
To build it here.
Probably than in Chicago, yeah.
Right.
I would think so. Well, we'll see what
James,
happens.
if you polled, the average human up there in the 219, Bears or Colts fan, what would you say the percentage is Bears?
Oh, man. It's got to be like 70%.
Really?
Or higher. Yeah, they treat it like Chicago. Nobody up there cheers for the Pacers or the Colts.
Central time zone.
Exactly.
All right. We'll keep an eye on it. One thing we do know is set to happen. IU is planning renovations for a brand new upgrade at Memorial Stadium. They are asking fans for feedback at this point in time. All good things for Indiana football right now, Kevin. Everything's roses.
Caleb, maybe at some point today we play that audio from Tom Allen. I thought that was some interesting comments from the former IU coach yesterday and, sharing his thoughts on the success the program has had. And I think you could take the comments in a couple of different directions when you hear him. So I thought that was interesting. So maybe we can play that here. In a
All
little
right.
bit.
We've lost another football coach. Ohio has fired Coach Brian Smith for cause, saying, quote, he was engaging in serious professional misconduct and participating in activities that reflect unfavorably on the university, unquote. This, of course, comes just a few days after the Sharon Moore situation up at Michigan cost him his job, and he actually got arrested for violating a few laws. But in the meantime, Brian Smith says, I haven't done anything wrong. Tell me what I've done wrong. I don't know. So there's probably more to come on this one. And Doug Gottlieb, the head basketball coach for Wisconsin Green Bay, says he's going to leave his radio show to focus exclusively on the basketball job. He announced it last night after Green Bay's 67-64 win over UC Santa Barbara. Last year they were 4-28. They are 6-7 right now. He says he thinks this group is special and they're starting to build something with a young core here.
Boy, I did not have Ohio football and Doug Gottlieb updates on my bingo card today.
I did not either, but I just thought in the wake of the Sharon Moore thing that was very interesting.
Great to hear from Matthew Graves yesterday with JMV. Sounds like he will be back on the sidelines for Indiana State. A little bit of a easing in process. I think he told John yesterday the Belmont game later this month will be a game that he's kind of targeted as, being back to the full-time head coach. So, again, I think it was a triple bypass, if I'm not mistaken, for Matthew Graves. Back a few weeks ago.
Great to see.
Yeah, great news, and enjoyed that combo between those two yesterday.
Yeah, go find it at 1075thefan.com, and terrific news. Anything else you guys want to throw in before we head to break? We all good? All right.
Again, Indy Classic coming up on Saturday, 4 o'clock. Yep. It'll be Northwestern and Butler, and then 6:30, the top 25 matchup between Purdue and Stephen Pearl and the Auburn Tigers there. So if you aren't at Gainbridge Fieldhouse for that, Peacock for both those games.
All right, coming up in a moment, we'll talk more about the Colts and their preparations for the Monday night game against the San Francisco 49ers over at Lucas Oil Stadium. You want to give us some feedback? 239-1070 on the fan text line. You can call us up at the same number, 239-1070, and we will be happy to talk to you. It's right here on 93.5 and 107.5 The Fan.
Oklahoma hosts Alabama in round one of the college football playoff. Tomorrow night at 7:30 on 93.5 and 107.5 The Fan.
Hey everyone, it's Jake from Payless Liquors. Charlie said sell it, so stop by one of our 26 family-owned locations and stock up for the holidays with these great deals. Woodford Fist for $29.99, Captain Morgan half gallons for $24.99, and Mick Ultra 18 packs for $23.99. Get La Marca Prosecco for $15.99, Martini and Rossi Asti for $10.99, and KJ VR Shard for just $9.99. Join us on Saturday the 20th from 10 a.m. to noon at our East Street location for our Blanton's Gold Barrel Select Drop. Why pay more when you can pay less here at Payless Liquors?
It's JMV for BullseyeEventGroup.com, the Colts VIP tailgate presented by Hayes & Sons Restoration. All you can eat, all you can drink. Before each Colts home game, make your game day experience the best it can be. Entertained inside the Bullseye Event Center and the great food from celebrity chef Kelsey Murphy. That and more, and combo up your passes with tickets to the game. That's the BullseyeEventGroup.com Colts VIP tailgate presented by Hayes & Sons Restoration. Get your passes now. BullseyeEventGroup.com.
Food insecurity is an urgent problem, one that impacts real Hoosiers. You can help today.
Gleaners needs donations. Your contribution goes further with Gleaners. For every $10 you give, Gleaners leverages their resources to turn your $10 into $90 worth of groceries for families who desperately need help right now. Your gift benefits local community members, and every dollar counts. Gleaners also needs volunteers now to help with warehouse distribution. Go to gleaners.org and donate or get involved today.
Marcus Morris here with Family Heating and Air. As we're reaching colder weather, you may find yourself in need of furnace service. At Family, we specialize in solutions to extend your furnace life. Call the Fix-It team from Family. You can easily reach us at familyhvac.net. From our family to yours, have a happy holiday.
Family Heating and Air is your trusted local independent American Standard heating and air conditioning dealer.
When the new year hits, every business could use a little something to stay ahead. A lift, a jump start, an edge, or perhaps a boost. Like the all-new 5-year business boost from Comcast Business. It's the certainty of a price lock for 5 years on qualifying internet bundles. Plus, you'll have the most reliable Wi-Fi with our best equipment, so your whole team can stay connected at a great rate. And to sweeten the deal, ask about a $500 prepaid card when you add 2 lines of mobile. It's the boost your business deserves. So sign up for the 5-year business boost and get a 5-year price lock on ultra-reliable Wi-Fi. Plus, ask about a $500 prepaid card. Comcast Business, powering possibilities.
Ends 2/22/26, new customers only. 1-year contract required for guaranteed rate. 5-year pricing applies to monthly service charge excluding taxes and fees. Best Wi-Fi based on Open Signal Awards USA. Fixed Broadband Experience Report, May 2025.
It's JMV for Indiana's Best. My friend Eric Wilson and Andy Moore Buick GMC, 131st and State Road 37. It's in Fishers. Check it out right now. The GMC Acadia, good for you, the family, and the friends of the family. Inventory, car buying experience, service after the sale, the absolute best. It's one-stop shopping. Ask for Eric Wilson and head to Andy Moore Buick GMC, 131st and State Road 37 in Fishers.
Getting more as a MyLowe's Pro Rewards member is easier than ever with the Lowe's app. Download it today and earn 500 points the first time you log in. Plus, your digital wallet helps you scan, save, earn, and access what you need to manage it all in one place. Download the Lowe's app and take advantage of your Pro benefits today. Lowe's, we help, you save. Valid 12/1/25 through 1/7/26. Offer valid for first login per organization only. Loyalty program subject to terms and conditions. Additional restrictions apply. Visit Lowe's.com/terms for more details. Subject to change.
It's a new season with a new QB.
Football is back. And so are Bud Light Blue Fridays. Every week, join JMV starting at 3 for ice-cold Bud Light specials, football talk, and chances for you to snag tickets to Colts games and get some amazing swag on us. And get in on the football toss for a chance to win a trip to Las Vegas for your shot at Super Bowl tickets. Join JMV this Friday at 3 at Whiskey Business North on Pendleton Pike. Bud Light Blue Fridays.
Individuals and businesses with tax problems, listen carefully. If you owe over $10,000 in back taxes or have unfiled tax returns, U.S. Tax Shield can help you take back control. The IRS can seize your bank accounts, garnish your paycheck, close your business, and file criminal charges. Our team of tax attorneys can stop collections and get you protected. U.S. Tax Shield offers a price protection guaranteed quote to get you protected today. U.S. Tax Shield is A+ rated with the BBB, so call 800-494-6139. U.S. Tax Shield, 800-494-6139.
At AT&T, we guarantee our network, so you can talk college football with your BFF while taking Buster to the vet.
Hey, yeah, I can't believe he ate the whole thing of chicken wings.
And I can't believe we're staging a comeback. Touchdown!
Yes!
Staying connected matters. That's why in the rare event of a network outage, you'll automatically get a bill credit for a full day's service. For wireless downtime lasting 60 minutes or more caused by a single incident impacting 10 or more towers, must be connected to impacted tower at onset of outage. Restrictions and exclusions apply. See att.com/guarantee for full details.
This college football season, show your school spirit every time you pay. Introducing college-branded Venmo debit cards. Rep your team on and off the field with custom school designs that let everyone know who you root for. Whether you're tailgating, grabbing snacks for the watch party, or celebrating a win, you can unlock 15% cash back at ESPN. 1 free year of Perplexity Pro and more. This college football season, score more with the Venmo debit card. Get yours now in the Venmo app. Learn more at venmo.com/collegecard.
Max cashback varies. Terms apply. The Venmo MasterCard is issued by the Bancorp Bank, N.A.
You're listening to the Fan Morning Show on Sports Radio 93.5 and 107.5 The Fan.
Good morning. Happy Thursday. Sun hasn't quite peeked up over the horizon yet, but Kevin, we were just talking about it a minute ago. It feels balmy today, does it not, based on what we've had over the last week and a half or two? It was pretty nice yesterday, and I think it's continuing today.
The slush galore, right? Is there anything uglier than melting snow on the side of a road?
No, and right in front of our brand new building here, yesterday I was walking in, and as I was about to step over onto the curb, James, right before I did, one of the construction guys, very polite, said, yeah, you don't want to do that. That's like a 6-inch hole. You're just going to bury your foot in water if you do that. So everybody looking out for everybody over here, man. I like that.
Where were you walking?
Right in front of the building, right here. Yesterday when you walked up to the little ramp, the guy said, "Yeah, it's just a bunch of water right there." So
interesting. I didn't see that. I just stayed on the sidewalk.
You happily you got to cross the street to get over. You can't just it wasn't
James floats
on the sidewalk. Yeah.
Well, you know me. I believe in Jesus, so I told him, hey, get me across that water, brother.
I like that. What's it gonna take? There were sideways glances on that. What's it going to take for the Indianapolis Colts to come up with a win against the San Francisco 49ers?
Downfield throws, number one. I think they're going to have to be a little more aggressive in that category. Run the ball very well. Don't turn it over. All the stuff they did against Seattle, but just with a little bit more, in my opinion. And can you contain a guy like Brock Purdy, who I think that he's a little dangerous if you don't have DeForest Buckner back in the lineup? Hopefully he is for the Colts' sake. But if he is not, how do you contain a dude who can make plays and extend plays with his legs?
Yeah, I was looking at this a little bit yesterday. Monday's show, we harped on this a lot. The Colts only had 2 plays of over 15 yards in that game against Seattle. I've called that offense dinosaur-like, archaic, et cetera, et cetera. I went back and looked at all the touchdown drives the Colts have had this season. And if you look at it, every single drive but one, they've had a play of over 15 yards on those touchdown drives. Like it is, look at the 1 touchdown drive on Sunday.
Got to have chunk plays somewhere.
Tyler Warren had a 17-yard play. Like, it's just so hard in the NFL. I'd say football, period, but in particular the NFL, to grind out these 70-yard touchdown drives when you're going 4 and 3 and 6. Like, at some point, you have a drop. At some point, you have a penalty. At some point, you have a negative play, and you have to recover from that. So, again, how do you create that? Is it the yards after catch? Hey, here's my dunk to Amir Abdullah like he's Nyheim Hines in 2020, and boom, he takes off for 13 or 14 post catch. Is it more the double moves to Josh Downs? Or does an extra week of whatever, rest, recovery, however you want to describe it for Phillip Rivers, is he able to find, Alec Pierce a little bit more down the field? Because, I probably sound like a broken record with Pierce. I don't care who the quarterback is. I take a shot to Pierce every quarter of every game. He's that good of a weapon.
Just let him go get it.
Either he catches it or they throw a flag, seemingly every time. And so if you did one of those every quarter, boom, maybe he catches 2 of the 4, and then they throw a flag on one of the other 2, and the other one falls incomplete. And I'd call that a pretty successful day in trying to create some chunk plays. Now, obviously, with Rivers' arm, the question becomes, can he do it? And so, that's where I think so much of the blueprint, as James said, has to look similar, but you just have to get a little bit more in the chunk play department.
I'm going back, and I know it was incomplete on that kind of miscommunication with Josh Downs, but off the top of your head, James, how far downfield was that throw? Like, how far did it go? 20 yards, maybe?
The 15? Back shoulder throw?
The one to Josh Downs where
the double move to Downs.
The double move, and it just didn't pay off.
Oh, I don't know. I have to go back and look at it. But, yeah, let's call it 20.
But they need more throws like that, right? They're going to have to find a way.
I thought that was the one that if they connect on that, they win the game.
Yeah.
There's your big play. There's your explosive. And without explosive, it's very hard to score touchdowns in particular in the NFL without that. I think Blake Grupe gave you some confidence that you can feel like, hey, we get it to whatever target line is somewhat reasonable. He can boot it, especially indoors this time around this week. But, yeah, you're going to need more than a couple field goals to beat the 49ers, that's for sure.
James, how much do you weigh?
I'm a $145 last time I checked, I think.
145?
Yeah. 5'10", 145.
Special teams coordinator Brian Mason gave us the number of 148 for Blake Grupe yesterday.
He's been working out.
148 pounds. How many of those pounds were in that 60-yarder?
All of it, man. That swing was something.
I didn't realize longest kick in that stadium's history. Until Brian Mason said that yesterday.
I feel like Brian Mason teaches me something every time we talk to him.
Oh, certainly.
Every week.
Yeah, he's extremely intelligent. I think I've told the story before. He was at Notre Dame for a year with Marcus Freeman, and when he left there to join Shane Steichen, I mean, there were people at Notre Dame like, this is a massive loss. Like, Brian Mason is thought of very, very highly in the coaching world there. So, Blake Groupie, shout out to him. I know we did a little bit on Monday, and I don't want to speak too much, but you could have quite the kicker competition next year between him and Spencer Schrader. I don't know. Is it Spencer Schrader's job? Like, for good, or?
I think it depends.
Should
These
you
last
tell
3
me to
weeks.
shut up and say who cares about a kicking competition on December 18th for next year, Kevin?
I think if Blake Groupie continues to hit from distance and he continues to be accurate, how do you not give him a chance to compete for the starting job next year?
Good problem to have. Depth at kicker.
It's been
How
a while.
about that for the Colts?
It's been a while. Did you see? I saw a video the other day. Not Rigoberto Sanchez, but Rodrigo Blankenship. He's still out there making videos, kicking 65-yarders, hoping people will give him a chance again.
And I think we can move on to the next topic with the Colts.
I hadn't seen that before. It popped up on my feed.
And trust me, the Colts don't want to see it either.
I do feel this way about, we talked about, what can they do to beat San Francisco? I do think San Francisco's got some chinks in the armor, if you will. I mean, there are some question marks defensively with them. First off, they are riddled with injuries. I mean, they have had much worse injury luck than the Colts this season, which is saying something.
It's almost like every year it feels like for
Every
them
year.
too.
I mean, Nick Bosa.
And they still get to the playoffs.
Right. I mean, Purdy has missed over half the season. George Kittle's missed 5 games. Nick Bosa tears his ACL in week 3. Fred Warner season-ending injury in week 6.
Ayuk hasn't even played.
Right. The wideout positions had the Ayuk drama, and then they've been hurt. Ricky Pearsall sounds like he's up in the air for this week. The one dude they do have is that running back, and calling him just a running back is unfair. I don't know if you've ever felt this way, James, but one thing I've enjoyed about the joint practices the Colts have done here over the last, seemingly decade at Grand Park is we are so up close and personal. Like, I mean, we are right there. We are within, 5 yards from watching, obviously, the Colts practice, but also their opponents. And in particular, the running back drills are always right near where we stand. And honestly, fans have the same view that we do. I mean, fans are right behind us. I know I say this every year around training camp. I think the Grand Park experience is unbelievable from an access standpoint. I don't know how to necessarily describe it or maybe qualify it, but I have never seen a football player move like Christian McCaffrey. When he came for the joint practice with the Carolina Panthers, so this would have been, a handful of years ago at this point, I have never seen a dude have the fluidity, the speed, the lateral change of direction, the ease at which he catches the football. I mean, it was breathtaking to watch. And again, you watch him and then his other running backs go through these drills, and it stood out to you like none other. Or watch the Colts go through their, pass catching drills. I'm not breaking any news here. He is just a special, special talent. And I mean, he touches the football as much as anybody does around the NFL for his team. So tackling Mr. McCaffrey in space, a premium on Monday night. I do get a little sweaty thinking about Christian McCaffrey in the open field against some of these Colts defenders.
Yeah, and you go back to his days at Stanford when I think he was 2nd or 3rd in the Heisman Trophy, maybe both years, the last 2 years that he played, but all-purpose, man. Unbelievable kick returner, unbelievable punt returner, almost a wide receiver in a running back's body. And then the ability for him to pick up short yardage, too. He's a lot like Jonathan Taylor. Those legs just never stop moving, James. They just keep going forward.
Special player. And honestly, he's somebody I could totally see winning the Offensive Player of the Year. He probably is in that conversation along with Jonathan Taylor and Jackson Smith and Jigba out there in Seattle. But let's not underrate what this guy is doing. I think he's on pace for 1,000 rushing yards and 1,000 receiving yards, which is, in and of itself, pretty productive.
Well, and it's kind of wild, too. We talk about all the 49ers injuries, and he's been healthy. He's usually the one
he's had the
dealing with it. And if Mark was here, he'd want me to say not only is Christian McCaffrey successful on the field, but he's successful off of it.
That is true.
What do you mean by that, Kevin? It's a successful guy. That's it.
I'll let the dead air sit.
Let me ask you guys a question, too.
Caleb's nodding his head through the glass.
Caleb knows.
I agree with you, Kevin.
Okay. Caleb knows.
We all know.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Caleb knows. His dad was a pretty good football player, too.
Edward?
And also was successful, I might add.
Didn't he have a brother get a cup of coffee in the NFL, or am I imagining something?
I think Christian has a brother that's in the league right now. With I think the Commanders.
A wideout?
I think he's a wideout with the Commanders, yeah. Luke, is it Luke? Luke McCaffrey, yeah. Question for you guys, too. When you look at the first half of that game in Seattle last week.
Max McCaffrey, I think.
Max is the brother of Ed?
I think. Well, Luke, I'm seeing a Luke as well.
Yeah, Luke is with the Commanders right now.
Okay, got you.
So I got to get a Max Bowen, a Max McCaffrey jersey if that's the case here.
Tell
Santa to get back in the shop.
You look at the first half against Seattle. Why were they able to create pressure on the quarterback? It's something that they've really struggled to do, but in that first half against Seattle, they were doing a pretty good job of harassing Sam Darnold and getting to him and touching him. Can they do that again? What was going on there that they saw for 2 quarters?
Because I have to go back and look at it.
I just saw that they finally, honestly, I think it was about winning one-on-one matchups. They pressured well in the first half of that game, not so much in the second half of the game, but that was one of the reasons in the first half that I think they held Seattle to field goals. They were doing a pretty decent job of rushing the passer, which is not something we've seen a lot of this year.
I think all their tackles for loss were in the first half, though. That was an issue there in the second half. As I want to say Seattle ended the game. I think 5 of their final 6 drives were scoring drives. James, I did want to bring this up, and Caleb, maybe we can get to that Tom Allen audio coming up in the 8 o'clock hour. I thought his comments on where Indiana's at as a football program were interesting yesterday. I think they could be maybe interpreted in a couple different ways. But, James, I was listening to Dane Brugler, your colleague over at The Athletic, who we have had on the show before. He's always gracious with his time and talking about the NFL draft. And he had an overview of the 12 playoff teams. We'll get things started tomorrow night. Alabama, Oklahoma will be the first playoff game. So that'll get started, and Indiana will find out their opponent, come midnight tomorrow. But he was going over the draft prospects for these teams. Said Ohio State, once again, will have the most draft picks. He thought Texas A&M probably was 2, and then he had Indiana as 3. And I was really struck by that. Like, we know that Indiana's a great football team, obviously. Like, we've seen the season play out. But you know this full well. It's a different world being a good college football team and also having the good draft prospects. That doesn't always correlate. It's not always like a guarantee. Certainly some years it is. But to have that statement there, that really stood out to me. I think we can, pick out, obviously, several drafted Indiana players here coming up in April, but to have them be the 3rd team over Georgia, over Miami, over Notre Dame, Texas, all these teams that, you would put into that group. That's because I think that's important too in pitching yourself to portal guys and to high school recruits, of course, of, hey, we're not just winning on the field, but that goal of playing on Sundays? Boom. Here's 8 guys drafted in the year 2025 or 2026.
15 IU players mentioned in the NFL draft here as potential NFL draftees. 15 from Indiana. That's insane.
And again, some of them, I would say most of them probably didn't even start their career at Indiana. So this speaks to Cignetti's ability to recruit and honestly help you adjust and grow as a player. Because even Fernando Mendoza, he probably was a draftable player after he left Cal, but to now go from that to being a potential number 1 pick, that should be enticing for a lot of quarterbacks, I think, and it's because you can look at Curt Cignetti and say, man, look what he's done with the last 2 quarterbacks he's had. And again, I thought that it would kind of be big shoes for Fernando to fill Curtis Rourke, because I thought Curtis had a really good season. Anytime you have an NFL caliber quarterback in college, I don't want to take it for granted. And I thought that he was a fine player, especially for somebody who played on a torn ACL. But yeah, you went out and upgraded and helped, the new guy, the nerdy guys, he said on 60 Minutes, get over the top there.
Curtis Rourke, a 49er.
Coming back home.
Yeah. I think
for the statement game, they're gonna tell him, hey, Brock Purdy, sit this one out, brother.
I think the plan for Rourke this year, remember, he announced the torn ACL after the season. And so I think what San Francisco has done is they have opened up that 21-day practice window for him, which we've talked a lot about here. I think Anthony Richardson Sr. And the hope is, or the thought there is, Rourke can now practice in the regular season. But then again, once that 21-day window plays out, he will then stay on injured reserve So, he's the third quarterback, I guess, if you want to rank them. Brock Purdy, Mac Jones. I think they just signed Adrian Martinez yesterday as well. So, Curtis Rourke getting a little bit of a opportunity practice-wise, and then he'll be full go, it sounds like, coming up next year. I think they spent a 7th-round pick on him, if I'm not mistaken.
I think that sounds right. It was late pick, but it was nice for him to get drafted. They got Mendoza as a first-round pick, the only one there, and then they're projecting in the second round Carter Smith, the tackle, Omar Cooper Jr., in round 3, senior receiver Elijah Surratt, cornerback D'Angelo Pons, who I think is terrific, Amari Farrell, the junior safety, and then the rest of them, Aiden Fisher, Tariq Tucker, Pat Coogan, Mikhail Kamara, Roman Hemby, Kalen Black, Riley Nowakowski, Stephen Daly, and Khalil Benson. Think of that. 15 guys from the Indiana Hoosiers could potentially be drafted.
We'll see if it happens in April.
CJ West, by the way, also on the 49ers roster. He gets a little bit of clock here for San Francisco.
Looking forward to that. And then later on tonight at the Fieldhouse, the Pacers back at home. They'll be taking on the New York Knickerbockers. They had a nice little run going there where they'd won 4 of 6. And now, James, they've lost 4 of 6. Was it more competition, or did things just start going differently for the Pacers, do you think, in the difference between those 2 recent runs?
Well, they haven't really played a lot of great teams as of late. They beat Chicago, who stinks. They beat the Kings, who always stink. Lost to Philadelphia, who was weird this year, and then got blown out by a terrible team in Washington, who is trying to lose this year. So, I don't know. I feel like, as the great Bob Kravitz always tells me, water finds its level.
Well, we'll see what they do against the Knicks tonight. And, things change so quickly. Obviously, we've seen it all evolve with Tyrese getting hurt in Game 7, and then the departure of Miles Turner, and it obviously is a completely different team. And then you throw in all the injuries that happened early for them. It's almost hard to imagine that these two teams, just the intensity and I don't know if there's a better word than spirited back-to-back series they played in the playoffs the last 2 years, which Pacers came out on top. But, man, it's just gonna feel different. It's felt different all year long. But even the Knicks are a little bit down, as you were saying earlier, Kevin. Even they're not coming with their best lineup probably tonight.
Yeah, so Jalen Brunson, Mikal Bridges sounds like they will play, but several of the other guys listed as questionable for this game. Towns and Mitchell Robinson and Josh Hart and OG Anunoby. So, again, they won the NBA Cup on Tuesday night in Vegas. I would venture to guess they saw the wee hours of the morning, so we'll see what their availability looks like. Pacers' schedule pretty difficult here to close out the calendar year. It doesn't sound like the returns of Aaron Nesmith and Ben Shepherd are imminent by any means. One thing I was looking back on the Pacers this weekend, they lost the Sixers on Friday. Joel Embiid has not been Joel Embiid this season. He was certainly that against the Pacers. I believe Jokic, of all the 30 teams in the NFL, or NBA, I guess 29 other NBA teams, no team he averages more points against than the Pacers. Embiid, I believe the Pacers rank second on that list. So again, of the 29 other NBA teams, Jokic, nobody he scores more against than the Pacers. For Embiid, it is second on that list. Is that just a Miles Turner stat?
I used to think that because there were also some like one-off ones. Like I remember just some random centers that would always play well against him. And then he'd play exceptionally well against other guys.
We're looking for Miles Turner ammo as he returns to the old
he's coming back.
Cambridge Fieldhouse coming up on
the 23rd.
Monday or Tuesday?
Tuesday the 23rd.
Is that unfair just to blame all that on Turner? I mean, he has been the Pacers center for, obviously,
I don't know. Every time
the vast majority of those matchups.
Felt like every time Andre Drummond came to town, he'd drop like 30 points and 20 rebounds.
Yeah, the Drummond highlight reel is probably half a Turner. It's like the Trevor Lawrence highlight reels, half the Colts.
Do you think it was just Miles having trouble with quicker, more athletic guys sometimes?
Well, I wouldn't call Jokic quick and athletic.
No, but he's a different cat altogether.
Well, sure. But again, why is it the best of any team against the Pacers? Why isn't it like the 10th best?
Yeah. It's a good question. We got Jay Huff now. See what happens. Let's roll.
I actually like what Jay Huff
I like what Jay Huff has brought. I think he's done what he has been expected to do so far, don't you think, James?
For the most part, but yeah, they were always going to take a step back without Miles Turner at center this year. That was obvious.
Yeah. So that's coming up on Tuesday when Miles Turner returns. But tonight over at the Fieldhouse, they'll be taking on the New York Knicks fresh off that NBA Cup. And as Kevin said, hopefully they've got a little hangover effect and some guys been nursing injuries. Maybe tonight's the night that they take that off. And you talked about the difficult schedule coming up, too. After they play at New Orleans on Saturday, it's Boston, then the return of Milwaukee, then it's home against Boston again, then at Miami, at Houston. And then Orlando comes in along with San Antonio. And those teams, Orlando and San Antonio, clearly no joke these days. Orlando is really coming forward. So it'll be fun to see how this NBA game season plays out and see what do you think is the most likely as you look long-term now at the Pacers. How many wins? What would you say the over-under for wins is right now?
Oh, dear Lord. Caleb, you're going to have to look that up. What do they got, 6 right now?
Yep.
26? I'm serious. Like
they're 6-20.
What would Vegas say right now? 6 and what?
6-20 right now.
So 26 of what? So you got 56 to go. So I'm saying they go 20-36 the rest of the way. Boy, part of me thinks that's generous. I mean, at some point, do you get in shutdown mode with any of these guys? You know, I think that would be like, is Obi Toppin going to put on a Pacers uniform this year? That's probably
it's a conversation worth having.
Fair question,
especially considering the injury he's coming off of.
You know, there's part of me that thinks, okay, if Shepard gets back at the end of the month, if Neesmith gets back at the end of the month, do they do one last-ditch thing in January? I don't know. I mean, you might have the standings in front of you. Like, how far are they out of the play-in? As crazy as that sounds. What do you got, Caleb?
Sorry, turned on the wrong microphone. New studio. Still getting used to it. Sorry. The new over-under I'm seeing right now, 23.5.
Oh, my gosh.
Boy. It's rough.
I don't know, man. I mean, losing to the Wizards by how much?
Yeah, Sunday was the worst. Sunday was the worst 48-minute effort of the season.
So I don't know if you can't even, beat the bad teams and make your hay there, which there's a lot of them in the East. Let me be clear. If you can't even do that consistently, 23.5 seems like a tall task.
You want to get just to remind everybody. The lottery odds, they don't change for the first 4, or I should say for the worst 4.
Mm-hmm.
So, if there are people out there that are like, man, whatever, I've got a 6-game season ticket package or something like that, I'm not just going there to root for losses. An occasional win or two won't decimate you from an odds standpoint. I mean, hell, what were Dallas's odds last year when they got
very low,
old Cooper? So it's not as, 40% for the team that has the worst record and, 3% for the team that has the 6th worst record. It's a little bit more balanced in that realm. But, boy, now that I said 26 out loud, I don't know. Vegas clearly
I see 10 teams right now that have crazy long odds to win an NBA Finals. 10 teams right now FanDuel has listed at 100,000 to 1. The Pacers are one of those teams. Do you just put down $1 just cause?
No.
You could go buy yourself like a large drink at a local gas station.
Where are you getting a large drink for $1
instead.
these days?
Like, come on now.
All right, coming up in a minute, we'll talk more about the Colts getting ready for the San Francisco 49ers. Later on, we'll have Thad Matta, the head basketball coach for Butler, off to a nice start this season. As always, Scott Agness joins us at 9. At 9:30, Jason Hammer. We'll ask him about odds a little bit later on. It's all right here, 93.5 and 107.5 The Fan.
The Ride with JMV.
I go back to January and with Chris Ballard prior to that, just wanting to make dramatic changes because I felt it was time. But when you ask me in the present if I think they're going to do it, I would tell you by what they did with the 2 first-rounders, that tells you that they're going to be back. But what would change that? Would losing out this season?
The Ride with JMV.
Weekdays 3 to 6.
On 93.5 and 107.5. The Fan.
Ready to find the right candidates for your job posting? Indeed's Sponsored Jobs helps you connect with talent that actually matches what you're looking for. Start at Indeed.com/credit.
Treat yourself with a new watch from Moyer Fine Jewelers in Carmel. They have over 20 watch brands, including Omega, Breitling, Hublot, and the Midwest's best selection of pre-owned watches. Tell them JMV sent you.
This holiday season, remember, it's not only the thought that counts. 'Tis the season for gifting responsibly by only gifting Hoosier Lottery scratch-offs to adults 18+.
My husband's an animal in bed.
Well, you know.
Not in the fun way. Think warthog. With a chainsaw.
Snoring and sleep apnea affect over 90 million people, and 1 out of 4 couples sleep in separate rooms. Advent can help. We've been your one-stop solution for nasal congestion, snoring, and sleep apnea for over 20 years. Unlike many other practices, we focus exclusively on these conditions, so you get comprehensive care under one roof. Advent's unique approach can help you breathe and sleep better, and many avoid a CPAP. Plus, most insurance is accepted for our effective 20-minute in-office treatments.
Hey, the only animal you want in your bed is your dog.
Advent. Sleep better. Sleep together. Learn how you can improve your life at adventknows.com.
JMV here for my friends John and Chris Love at Love Heating and Air Conditioning. Make sure your home is cozy and comfortable during these icy cold winter months. Need heating service? Tell them JMV sent you. If a repair is needed, Love will waive the $95 service fee. And should you need a new furnace, Love is a Heil Heating and Cooling dealer. Call Love today, 317-353-2141. Let Love and Heil take care of your home today, 317-353-2141. Tell them JMV sent you.
If you're one of the millions of Americans behind on your taxes, if you're afraid to open your mail because IRS collection letters could be coming, listen carefully. The IRS is cracking down, taking paychecks, freezing bank accounts, revoking passports. That's a fact. But here's what most people don't know. There are official tax relief programs designed to help struggling taxpayers. Programs that could save you thousands if you qualify. No one knows these programs better than the experts at Optima Tax Relief. Optima's award-winning team will fight to protect your paycheck, your passport, and your property. Their tax attorneys and licensed tax professionals will work tirelessly to get you the best deal possible with the IRS. Every day, penalties and interest keep piling up, so don't wait. Call Optima now for a free consultation.
Call 800-354-2840. 800-354-2840. 800-354-2840.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
The Fan cares, and if you or someone you care about needs food assistance, we have resources for you, including food distribution locations with an interactive map. Also, learn how you can make a difference for friends and neighbors in need, all at 1075thefan.com.
This is Kevin and Kim at Reinhardt Heating and Cooling. This holiday season, your home comfort is our business. We are here to keep your family warm and comfortable, just like we have for 40 years.
We appreciate your business throughout the year, and we are always here if you need us. From our entire Reinhardt Heating and Cooling family, we wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
Keeping you warm in Danville, Avon, Heritage Lake, and all of Hendricks County, Reinhardt Heating and Cooling is your trusted local independent American Standard heating and air conditioning dealer.
Some people just know you can save money on car insurance by checking Allstate first. Like you know to check if they're going for it on 4th down, before going to the concession stand.
Yeah, give me 3 hot dogs, 2 jumbo touchdown, baby! What?
Hey, buddy, you want cheese with those? Yeah, checking first is smart.
No.
So check Allstate first and see what you could save. You're in good hands with Allstate.
Potential savings vary, including based on how you buy, subject to terms, conditions, and availability. Allstate North American Insurance Company and affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
Getting more as a MyLowe's Pro Rewards member is easier than ever with the Lowe's app. Download it today and earn 500 points the first time you log in. Plus, your digital wallet helps you scan, save, earn, and access what you need to manage it all in one place. Download the Lowe's app and take advantage of your Pro benefits today. Lowe's, we help, you save. Valid 12/1/25 through 1/7/26. Offer valid for first login per organization only. Loyalty program subject to terms and conditions. Additional restrictions apply. Visit Lowe's.com/terms for more details. Subject to change.
From the DriveHubler.com studios, this is 93.5 and 107.5 The Fan.
WIBC HD2, HD3, Indianapolis.
The Cal Bears face the Hawaii Rainbow Warriors in the Hawaii Bowl. Wednesday night at 7:30 on 93.5 and 107.5 The Fan.
You're listening to The Fan Morning Show on Sports Radio 93.5 and 107.5 The Fan.
Good morning, Caleb. Nice job getting us in and out of breaks today. Doing a good job filling in for Mark Dykton, who is already shoveling snow and pruning trees and doing all kinds of things at the governor's mansion so they can get the Bears to Northwest Indiana, James. He's fired up. Let's go.
Wouldn't that be something?
Can you imagine? You got to just stop in Merrillville 15 minutes before you go into the stadium, something like that. That would be nuts. It is a balmy 44 degrees outside right now compared to what it's been like over the last couple of weeks. It was fairly nice yesterday. Sun's peeking up over the horizon, and we are a day closer to Monday Night Football. The San Francisco 49ers coming to town. And look, San Francisco somehow, some way, through all their injuries and everything else, and you've talked about this, Kevin, they're 10-4. They just keep winning football games. Finding ways to win football games. They just do. Doesn't matter which of their receivers is banged up. I know that they haven't had they've played a couple of quarterbacks this year. They haven't had their best wide receiver all year long. They've had season-ending injuries to big players on defense. And Kyle Shanahan and that group, they just kind of keep ticking off wins.
Yeah, it's beyond impressive. It's Coach of the Year worthy easily for Kyle Shanahan and how decimated they've been from an injury standpoint. Even like George Kittle's missed 5 games. I mean, that's a really notable injury, and 5 games is a substantial amount of time. Speaking of Monday Night Football, I believe, and Caleb, go ahead and confirm this. Mark said Joe Buck Monday at 9.
Monday at 9 o'clock.
Joe Buck. I know Mark has been efforting that for quite a while. We honestly thought more from an IU football point of view. If anybody watches Monday Night Football, Joe Buck loves to needle Troy Aikman a little bit on the Indiana football aspect of things. So looking forward to that day of the game. We'll have Joe Buck joining us here on a Monday. So really looking forward to
that. Nick says he wants to disagree with the percentage of Colts fans up there. Said there's a chunk of us that are season ticket holders and quite a few Colts-oriented bars. Yes, I live in Gary right off the 12th and Broadway. I can send you pictures of shell casings on the sidewalk out front sometime this week if you'd like, just to prove that he lives there, I guess. A little rough there sometimes.
Yeah, that's probably not a route I want to go down. But, yeah, I would say that, maybe there are more fans up there. But as far as the other statement, I'll leave that alone.
Yeah. 239-1070, number to call if you want to get in or text in. And I can't help but wonder. I know all the things, and it makes all the sense in the world, all the things you're telling me about Anthony Richardson. Would the Colts prefer if he never plays a snap again for the Indianapolis Colts?
No. Wait, that was a question?
Anthony, right? Yeah, that's my question.
Oh, yeah, no. You drafted him 4th overall. You want to see him play for as long as he's on your roster. I would think that if he becomes healthy, even if it's within the next week or so, that should be a conversation. Should we get this guy out there to see what we have, especially as you go into an offseason where your quarterback position is in flux and it's kind of up in the air. I know that the assumption is that Daniel Jones will be brought back, which that doesn't surprise me too much, but we also don't know what he's going to look like coming off an Achilles tear. So, yeah, you definitely want to take a look at the guy. And unfortunately, like I wrote yesterday in The Athletic, it's just he was supposed to get an opportunity, and it didn't happen because of the freak accident to his eye. And what's funny is having this conversation with a lot of the fans, they're like, well, I don't know. They might have still gone out and got Rivers. No, they would not have. He was QB2 from the start of the season. So if he had stayed with the roster and not gotten injured, the moment Daniel Jones goes down, we're not talking about Riley Leonard, and we're definitely not talking about Phillip Rivers. We're talking about Anthony Richardson going back into the team, into the lineup, and having a chance to possibly redeem himself after everything he's kind of been through with the franchise. So, yeah, I think it's only a debate now because he's coming off the injury and Rivers is here now and he started. But to act like that would have been a serious conversation or debate if Richardson had been healthy all along is asinine.
So Jeff, go back to the question you asked to start off the show in regards to Richardson versus Rivers.
Yeah, and I've heard this from a lot of people the last couple of days. That's why I bring it up. People were wondering and not probably recognizing the seriousness of the facial bone injury. They're like, how can Phillip Rivers be out of football for 5 years, come in on 3 days practice and start, and yet the coaching staff says Anthony Richard needs a ramp-up period?
Yes, that question was posed to Shane Steichen on Monday. Caleb, go ahead and cue that audio up.
Well, I think obviously he's coming back off an injury, and Phillip obviously was not injured, but obviously was on a layoff. That was the difference right there. Simple as that.
So we talked about this on Monday. There's nothing that I feel more uneducated about than talking about player injuries and like the recovery process. I think it's a great job. Jake, has done this, I know, here over the last few weeks, few months, maybe, Ralph Reif.
He's terrific.
He's had him on, and, it just gives a little bit of an understanding of, okay, what do some of these injuries mean? Now, again, you still don't know the full story. So What I know about the Anthony Richardson orbital fracture was it was a gruesome injury. I've labeled it quite often. This was not a football injury. This was a human injury. This was an injury that impacted his life, his vision more than anything. And I assume an orbital fracture around the eye that's impacting vision, I'd venture to guess your physical activity couldn't be very much.
No, they want it to move at all while it heals.
So, and then not to mention, it gets into now, okay, how do you view practice? Let's say he does get cleared to practice today. If he's not part of the plan for Monday, why would you give him more than, a handful of quarterback reps in today's practice? You need to get Phillip Rivers ready, obviously, with the starting offense.
Right.
And Riley Leonard is one play away. So Riley Leonard needs to get the scout team reps going against the first team defense. So I think that's another hurdle you have in this process. And I'm speaking more from the Colts side of it. If and when Richardson is cleared and healthy and good to go, yes, I think he should be playing. But knowing how Shane Steichen operates, I do not see them all of a sudden saying, Anthony's back. Here's 30 practice reps because we feel like you're going to play week 17 or week 18. Like, I think this is
yeah, good point.
I think this is Phillip Rivers' job at least through Jacksonville. Now, if they were eliminated, maybe week 18 would look different. But, yeah, I assume this is Phillip Rivers' job for at least 2 more games.
I bring that up because, honestly, I've had maybe half a dozen people ask me that question in the last 36 hours. And I think the explanation from Shane on Monday, a lot of people didn't hear that, and what you guys talk about today, I get it. And then the follow-up question for a lot of people is, are these the 3 quarterbacks the Colts will have on the roster at the beginning of next year as Daniel Jones works his way back? Anthony Richardson and Riley Leonard, are those your 2 quarterbacks to start the season as Jones does start to get back?
I'm not sure. I guess his timeline would suggest that he could be available by week 1, so we'll see how that goes throughout the offseason. But for now, just looking at the next couple weeks, I understand everything you said, Kevin, about, I think Phillips will start for the next 2 games. I think it's 1 game.
Really?
Yeah, I think. Well, put it like this: I think it should be 1 game.
Well, yeah, that's a different answer. I was speaking from how I think Shane Steichen is viewing this.
But here's the thing, though. Even if Shane, and we know he loves Phillip Rivers, and I don't fault him necessarily for thinking outside the box and going to get the guy who could be a Hall of Famer someday to come back and run your offense. But if he comes out and he looks just as limited, if not more, against the 49ers, and they lose again, and let's say Richardson practices this week and he practices next week and he has 2 weeks of practice going into the game against the Jaguars, it should be a conversation. Absolutely, in my opinion. I don't think you should just, we're coming out next Tuesday after that game and he's telling us right off the bat, Rivers is our starter. Wait a second.
I agree with you, but we're talking about Shane Steichen.
This is true.
And that's where I have to pause. Like, that's where I don't. Again, I am with you on what I think they should do, particularly as you laid out, if it's as limited as it looks. I don't know if this is the best analogy, but when I watch Phillip Rivers play quarterback on Sunday, and you guys will probably just say, oh, of course this is what you thought. I feel like I was watching Tiger Woods play golf in the year of 2025.
Okay, when you added on that last caveat, I was like, okay, wait a second here.
Like, there's the nostalgia, there's the coolness, James, your colleague Zach Kiefer had it yesterday. It's the most watched CBS game in market in 5 years for the Colts, like, et cetera, et cetera. It's a movie. But it also at times makes you want to be like, damn, that movie isn't the most uplifting movie throughout the entire 60 minutes of it. Tiger can have 3-4 whole stretches where it's like, look at that. He's turned back the clock. Did you see the fist pump? It kind of looked a little awkward. Kind of like Phillip Rivers celebrating a touchdown pass to Josh Downs. Like, to me, I'm watching it, and those are the vibes I get of, like, you might have a round where Tiger, wow, he shot 70 today. Well, then tomorrow he wakes up and the back starts acting up and he shoots 78 and he's done. And I don't see 2019 Masters showing up for Phillip Rivers, I guess, to continue the analogy further.
Yeah, and I just want to point out, I got caught up in Sunday. That was fun. They had the lead. It looked, especially when they hit that field goal, I'm like, my wife and I are like, are they going to win a football game on the road in Seattle with Phillip Rivers as the quarterback? And then, of course, the kickoff and the defense, and we get all that. But then when you look back at it, and you look at just even the box score, as great as the feeling was, and maybe it did inject a little bit of life into the entire team to do something. They're swinging for the fences. They're doing something to get it going. But 215 yards of total offense is beyond pathetic, Kevin.
Not sustainable. Yeah. I mean, if you did that for 17 weeks, you'd be drafting Fernando Mendoza.
And wouldn't that be something? Wouldn't that be quite the pivot? But you actually would not be drafting him because you don't have any first-round picks.
Here's the scarier part, though, too. And honestly, defense is going to have to come and play, and we need some improvement from Phillip getting it downfield or whatever. But this team is in real danger of losing out and going from a 7-1 start to finish an 8-9. How crazy is that?
Can I ask you guys a question real quick? Going back to this conversation with Anthony and Phillip, I guess when I look around the league, and especially it's kind of timely with Kyle Shanahan coming in, I've seen him have Nick Mullins come in and win a game. I've seen him win games with Mac Jones. I think Sam Darnold won a couple games off the bench when Purdy was hurt, Jimmy G. And I understand Shane Steichen's thing. Like, I got to get somebody that can run my system. But I also seen Sean McVay bring in Baker Mayfield for a Thursday night game with 2 practices, really walkthroughs, and win a game. And what I don't understand, and maybe you guys can answer this, is what is the importance of, hey, I need to have somebody to run my system rather than how can we throw something together to aid whoever's going to play the quarterback that week? Like, and maybe that's a off-season conversation, but I feel like there's a certain hubris and kind of arrogance, in my opinion. It's like, no, I have to have somebody that's going to run my system.
Yeah, I think it's a really interesting point, Caleb, that you bring up. I've heard this general conversation start to bubble up a little bit more this week of, wait a minute, why not be able to, dummy down your offense to, and not even, let's throw Anthony out because of health reasons, to Riley Leonard, for example.
Exactly.
Can you get something of a, Riley Leonard did not look horrific against Jacksonville. I think we all can agree on that. Again, he didn't fumble like Jonathan Taylor. He didn't have the worst defensive effort of the season. I thought he got a bad whistle. I thought the Michael Pittman push-off was an awful call in the end zone. I thought the interception should have been simultaneous catch to Pittman. Like, there were a lot of things that went against him. And so I have heard that from people of, like, you don't need to be at this Oxford graduate school
That's
level.
what I'm saying.
Let's get it down to, Clay Junior High, Kevin Bowen education here and try to, succeed with someone that certainly from an athletic standpoint would offer much, much more than Phillip Rivers. It is probably a little bit of a bigger picture question, Caleb, just because I had this general thought entering the season of, like, again, do you need to get the clarity on Richardson as a franchise building block? And if you do, is part of your job as head coach, play caller. Shane Steichen was a huge believer in Anthony Richardson. I think there's this misnomer that, like, Shane didn't want Anthony Richardson. Is it your job to maybe say, all right, we might not be able to get to page 82 of the playbook, but let's focus here on this. Let's see where the accuracy is at. Let's see if he can stay healthy, and let's try and win football games in that manner. Some would probably push back on that, but it definitely is a thought that crossed my mind, particularly during the offseason in regards to Richardson. And now it's showing up again in Wayne. Rivers versus Leonard.
Yeah, and I think we all saw limitations with Anthony Richardson where he was in his development and the way he was playing. But I also point out his overall record as a starter is 8-7. It's not a complete disaster, James. Now, they finished the season poorly last couple of years, but they were in contention up until about the last 2-3 weeks of the season both times, too. It wasn't like it was just, oh, this guy's just terrible and we're not going anywhere at any point in time.
Yeah, it's an interesting debate for sure, and one that we will continue to have as the quarterback plays out over the next week or so. I'm very curious to see how that goes. And, again, you've hitched your wagon to Phillip Rivers, and the honeymoon stage is starting to wear off. You got to deliver if you brought that guy in to win games.
Yeah. Ches55 says Tua just got benched because he couldn't deliver. He has a much bigger contract than Richardson. What makes you think the Colts really do want to see him? No one else does. It feels like, and I think Ches speaks for a lot of people.
No one else? Is that like a certain portion of the fan base? Because I still think people within the Colts organization should want to see and do want to see Anthony Richardson play football. I can tell you that definitively.
He's a fourth overall pick.
I mean, it isn't just Shane Steichen making the decision. I don't even want to make it seem like Shane doesn't want to see him play. I think there's a lot of factors at play there. But, yeah, I understand the frustration. People remember the last time Anthony played, maybe it not being that great. And trust me, it was not. I cannot sit up here and tell you he played well his last extended run on the field. But, again, I just have a hard time thinking that would even be a conversation of who would start if he had been healthy all along.
Yeah, it just feels to me like almost economically, if you think that you're going to get Daniel Jones back for the first part, sometime in the first part of the season next year, you'd probably keep Richardson and Riley Leonard at this point in time just to bridge that gap, wouldn't you?
Yeah, I mean, Richardson as your starting quarterback in 2026 is suddenly back on the table, but we can digress.
Yeah, that's just kind of where we're at. And like I said, 8-7 record. I know we didn't see what we wanted to see, especially at the end of the year, the last couple of years, but it wasn't just an abject disaster, was it, Kevin?
You guys like Indiana Knights jerseys coming up Monday night?
I'd like that they can finally wear them at night.
Yeah.
I think it's been a few years since they did that whole marketing plan, and I don't think they've ever played at night in those uniforms, so at least it fits this time.
I love those new hats that they debuted a couple of weeks ago, too. Did you see those? Those are
I'd be lying if I said I did. I mean,
look them up.
I do like the look for Monday night. Good jersey matchup. I think the 49ers jerseys are great. Now I really sound like Jake Quarry.
That's okay. We like Jake. All right, let's check it down, Caleb. We got coming up in a minute, Thad Matta from Butler to tell us how the Bulldogs are doing. But right now, let's tell you what's going on.
The Morning Checkdown on 93.5 and 107.5 The Fan.
Colts back at it today. Phillip Rivers continues to start at quarterback for this team. And the question everybody's been asking for the last couple of days, can he improve physically upon the performance that we saw against the Seattle Seahawks? In other words, can he throw the ball downfield a little bit more, even in the mid-range throws where you're 10, 12, 14 yards downfield?
Well, the ball's in the air long enough to pray the rosary, and I think you're going to have to do that when you do uncork a few, but it is absolutely a must. You have to create more, and I don't know what that is. Is it yak? Is it yards after catch? Is it the Josh Downs double moves to death? Yeah, I think those are all definite things that you have just got to try and tap into. And for what it's worth, the San Francisco defense is very nondescript, and they have had some issues this year, particularly getting after the quarterback, and Tennessee had over 6 yards per carry on them last week. Tennessee.
How many touches do you want to see Jonathan Taylor get this week?
What do you have last week? 30?
Yeah.
28, something like that, if you can count the catches too. Yeah, I mean, it's got to be set the over-under at 24.5 and see what happens.
I'll take the over on that. Also today, we look to see, James, if Sauce Gardner, DeForest Buckner are edging closer and closer to returning to play.
Yep, we'll see if they're out there, as well as Bernard Ryman with the right elbow injury that he suffered last week. So 3 key players for this team that you would certainly like to have against the 49ers.
All right. Tonight, Rams and Seahawks play. Both teams 11-3. As good as San Francisco is, and we talk about their 10-4 record and how they've achieved that, these two teams are just on fire. And the Rams right now might, Kevin, be playing the best football in the NFL.
Yeah, huge game in terms of the 1 seed out there. Big game for the 49ers when you look at it from that aspect of it as well. 2 big NFC games this weekend, or tonight, of course, and then Saturday. Mark's Bears against the against the Green Bay Packers. That's the Saturday night game. We'll get 2 games on Saturday around the college football playoff. So busy Saturday of gridiron action.
All right. Also tonight, the Pacers at home hosting the New York Knicks. 7 o'clock tip, 6:30 airtime here at 93.5, 107.5 The Fan. They've lost 4 of their last 6. They'll play against the Pelicans on Saturday. We've been talking about this all morning, James. The Knicks winning the NBA Cup a couple of nights ago. Be interesting to see who does not play tonight, who gets some rest, and who wants to heal up a little bit. And we'll see what the Pacers can do with maybe a degraded Knicks lineup, perhaps.
Fair or foul, not raising the in-season cup banner?
I like it. I think they've basically said they're going to share that trophy with their fans in the corridors, right? I think that they're going to have a bit of a celebration there, and they wanted to share that with the fans and be a part of it. But they are intent. The next banner they raise, they want to raise an NBA championship banner.
You haven't won anything since the 70s.
The other 2 did raise it, right?
Yeah.
Lakers and Bucks.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
Knicks will be waiting for a long time, I think. I don't know. Is this the year? They might think this is the year.
I mean, it's wide open in the East, so yeah.
All right. We've got the Chicago Bears saying that they may explore a new stadium in Northwest Indiana. This is a real story that the governor of Indiana has commented on. Kevin Warren, the president of the Bears, had a lengthy letter yesterday explaining that they have to look at, in his words, the Bears have to look at other options in the area or the region, as the case might be, because they've been informed by the folks in the legislature up in Illinois that they don't really plan on taking any action on a new stadium anytime soon.
This on the text line, I can't wait for the Bears to be the next NFL team to win a playoff game for the state of Indiana.
Boy, wouldn't that be something?
Boy, Mark would be strutting.
Is that below the belt?
A little bit, but man,
Yes,
that's below the belt.
It really does kind of. It really does sum up though how bad things have kind of been for the
That's
Colts.
the Alonzo Mourning gif.
Yeah.
I read it, I'm like, SMH, but then I read it again, I'm like, damn.
Kind of right, yeah.
Shout out to Andrew here. He's chiming in. Monsters of Muncie is what he was going with. I guess if we want to stick geographically more to the region. Oh, no, sorry.
Monsters of Munster?
Yeah, he did say Monsters of Munster there. So shout out to Munster. Again, the Bricky Bowl. That's where I want to see the Bears running out of the tunnel coming up next year.
Indiana State plays basketball home tonight. That'll be a special game, Kevin. Indiana State playing Bradley this evening.
Yeah.
Looking forward to that one. They've got a 3-game winning streak. They are 5-0 at home. We'll see what happens there. Southern Indiana hosting Little Rock, and more good news at Indiana State too. They got a
Matthew Graves was on with John yesterday. Sounds like he'll come back in full capacity. I believe he said the Belmont game, which is I want to say the 29th of December. So again, I don't know Matt Graves, directly, but I've always heard wonderful things about him. Very sudden heart incident, a few months ago. And so he has not been on the sidelines yet this season for Indiana State, who's had a nice start to the season. I think they're 7-4 in the non-conference there. Yeah. So great to hear him back on the airwaves with John. And then most importantly, his health seems to be doing really, really good. And sounds like he'll make, maybe an appearance tonight and then more of a full-time role back of that head coaching duties coming up here in a little over a week.
Things looking up for Indiana State and the Sycamores right now. Coming up in a moment, we'll check in on Butler basketball. Thad Matta joins us for his weekly conversation. Bulldogs getting ready to play in a bigger arena this weekend as well. We'll tell you all about it next.
This is Jim with Jim's Heating and Air Conditioning. If you need help in Boone County or Hamilton County, give us a call.
Just go to jimsheating-air.com. Jim's Heating and Air Conditioning is your trusted local independent American Standard air dealer.
Tavern Tour 25, brought to you by Evan Williams, continues this afternoon at Coach's Tavern. Join JMV this afternoon from 3 to 6 p.m. Great food in Evan Williams at Coach's Tavern. The Butler basketball season is rolling along. Don't miss your chance to get in on the action. Your next chance to get to Hinkle Fieldhouse to cheer on your Butler Bulldogs is Monday, December 22nd, when the Dogs take on NJIT at 2 p.m. A weekday matinee. Come see the sunlight shine through the windows at iconic Hinkle Fieldhouse. With most students home for break, there are some great, unique seating options, so buy your tickets now at butlersports.com/buy tickets. Be a part of Hinkle Magic and make Hinkle your second home this season.
You'll get more than you expect with McValue at McDonald's. Like deals on your late night go-tos when the party goes till dawn. And savings on their faves. So date night always passes the vibe check. Plus, when the fam shows up for the weekend, you can show out for breakfast.
Enjoy a $3 sausage McMuffin with egg or egg McMuffin and pair it with a $1.49 any size Coke. Price and participation may vary, cannot be combined with any other offer.
It's JMV for BullseyeEventGroup.com. The Colts VIP tailgate presented by Hayes & Sons Restoration. All you can eat, all you can drink. Before each Colts home game, make your game day experience the best it can be. Entertained inside the Bullseye Event Center and the great food from celebrity chef Kelsey Murphy. That and more, and combo up your passes with tickets to the game. That's the BullseyeEventGroup.com Colts VIP tailgate presented by Hayes & Sons Restoration. Get your passes now. BullseyeEventGroup.com.
This Christmas, get a bonus AI Essentials course when you enroll in any My Computer Career IT program by the end of the year. That's a $3,900 value. Attend classes online or on campus. Enjoy lifetime job placement support and IT certifications in high demand. Go to mycomputercareer.edu today and take the free career evaluation. That's mycomputercareer.edu, an elite CompTIA certification partner. Conditions apply to AI offer and financial aid is available to those who qualify, including the GI Bill.
Baseball great Lou Gehrig was known as the Iron Horse for playing 2,130 consecutive games. But it was his reaction to his greatest challenge, the fatal diagnosis of ALS, that made Gehrig a household name and a beacon of strength for all those facing the disease. The Live Like Lou Foundation honors Lou's legacy and inspires hope for a world where ALS is no longer fatal. Donate or volunteer today at livelikeLou.org.
This is Chris with Absolute Comfort. We just want to thank you and your family for business that you've passed to us this year. Our families appreciate everything that you do for us, and we just want to let you know that if you have needs for your man cave or your she shed or whatever the thing is for a family member that you love, we just ask that you give us a call, and we've got some different ideas for you. Have a Merry Christmas.
Absolute Comfort is your Mitsubishi Electric Elite Ductless dealer.
Xfinity is the network you can rely on. Like a close friend who will give it to you straight. The friend who will tell you that new haircut, it's not great. Friends make sure friends get good haircuts. And Xfinity makes sure you get a good deal on Wi-Fi. Xfinity gives you reliable fiber-powered Wi-Fi at our best price. This holiday season through January 4th, get gig speed Wi-Fi for just $50 a month for 5 whole years. No strings, no commitments. Just super fast, reliable gig speed Wi-Fi with our best equipment and unlimited data included. Save yourself from questionable decisions and save over Verizon and AT&T. Xfinity, imagine that. Restrictions apply. Requires paperless billing and auto pay with stored bank account. Taxes and fees extra. Xfinity Internet powered by fiber and connected to premises by coaxial cable. Actual speeds vary.
Guys, you can screw up your fantasy roster, you can whiff on a parlay, but you don't mess up the ring. Go to Moyer Fine Jewelers in Carmel. They only sell natural, hand-selected, top-quality diamonds at competitive prices. And to make it even easier, mention JMV and get $500 off your engagement ring now through Christmas Eve. That's Moyer Fine Jewelers just north of 146th Street in Carmel or online, MoyerFineJewelers.com. Exclusions apply.
Hey, I'm Mike Slater. My dad passed away at the age of 63. It's out of nowhere. Had a stroke. Super hard, obviously, for the whole family, but my dad had life insurance. This is why I have life insurance for my family, for my wife and 4 kids. And the best place to get life insurance is ethos.com because you can do it in 10 minutes. And there's no medical exam and no blood test, just a few health questions. Get life insurance in 10 minutes so your family is protected. Ethos, ETHOS, ethos.com/play.
Out here, days are getting a little cooler, and mornings are starting with a few more layers. It's the season for more time at the grill, more feed for your animals. Heaters burn late into the night, and the woods start calling your name. We appreciate hard-working hands, shared moments, and love for our land. That's why season after season, we're here for your life out here. Tractor Supply.
93.5 and 107.5 The Fan. Your home for indie sports. Now with even more ways to listen.
Listen on air.
Online at 1075thefan.com.
And on our free app.
Stay connected to all things indie sports, including the latest news, show blogs, and catch up on what you've missed with our podcast.
We're never more than just a click away.
Download our app at Google Play and on the App Store. From your home for indie sports.
93.5 and 107.5 The Fan.
You're listening to The Fan Morning Show on Sports Radio 93.5 and 107.5 The Fan.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome into a Thursday. That means at 8:30, it's time to talk to the one and only Thad Matta, the head basketball coach of the Butler Bulldogs, and we'll catch up with him coming up in just a few minutes. But, Kevin, we've talked about this last couple of weeks. They got something going on there. I know they struggled in their last game out against a really good basketball team in UConn, but I kind of like what they got rolling right now.
Yeah, the Jalen Jackson injury, I do think is a big one. It's a lot on the plate of Finley Bizjack and Michael Ajayi right now for Butler. And Stink Robinson, you know, the freshman is now being asked to start and obviously handle the ball a whole lot here. So, you know, the Big East doesn't have maybe as much top end, I think, talent outside of UConn. So there is some opportunity, I think, for Butler to be up there. Pretty good non-conference. Need to, I think, close it out with a neutral court win over Northwestern coming up on Saturday, and then, get a couple there in the Big East. And if you do that, right now, if you look at the early bracketologies, they're kind of sniffing right around that bubble, maybe slightly in the tournament and some of those projections.
Yeah, they had the conference loss 79-60 to UConn, but they've done well in the non-conference and the conference tournament and not tournament, but the schedule is coming right up in a hurry. And joining us now is the head coach for the Bulldogs, Thad Matta. Thad, good morning and welcome into the Fan Morning Show. We were just talking about the fact I know you've got a couple of big injuries over the last week or two, but for the most part, you're pretty happy with how things have gone this first part of the season?
Yeah, injuries are part of it, and I remember Kelvin Sampson once told me back, he was at Oklahoma, I was at Xavier, he said, we're all a sprained ankle away from mediocrity. And it's amazing what injuries can do. But, I like where we are right now. I think just from the standpoint of, the UConn game the other night was a good lesson for us. I mean, we have to play better. We have to play tougher. We have to play stronger. You're in that environment and you're playing a great basketball team, and we know we didn't get it done. So got to come back and get ourselves ready to go again on Saturday.
That I want to go back to last Saturday, and we haven't had the chance to chat with you since, but that was one of the wilder games I've watched in quite some time. You've obviously coached over 700 of them, so you probably have a little bit of a different perspective on it. But I just thought that hustle play Michael Ajayi made there in the second overtime was just, to me, if I were a coach, that's teach tape 101 of what you show your guys in creating a play there. And Evan Haywood obviously knocked it home after that. But what did you make of just the back and forth nature to what you guys had to go through on Saturday?
Well, if you remember, I told you guys last week, I said that was going to be one of the most entertaining games in Hinkle. I had no idea it was going to be to that level. And I thought that was one of the most high-powered games I've ever coached in, just in terms of the back and forth and some of the plays that were made throughout the course of the game by both teams, to be honest with you. And it's funny, after the Boise State game where we missed 2 dunks in the first half to start the game, I told the guys, I said, look, next time you miss a dunk, it's a suicide. Next practice, where you run, I don't know if you can say that nowadays or whatever, but gasser or whatever. And so after the game, I told Michael, I said, look, at my discretion, because you missed the dunk, the play after it, I'm not going to run you. And that was just a high level play on his part, and just the awareness for Jamie to kick it to Evan for a great wide open shot, and was pleased to get out of there with our first Big East win, and you've always in this league, man, you got to protect your home court. There's no question about that.
Thad, when you look at the performance against UConn, when you're facing those types of programs, and obviously they've been to where you want to go as far as, being a perennial national contender and things like that, how much of a measuring stick can that be when you can show your players, okay, here is a real live in your face example of the level of play that we have to try to get to?
It's funny you ask that, because that's part of the teaching we want to do coming out of that game, because when you play a team like UConn, when you make a mistake, they automatically make you pay. And that's something that, you hope to take a page out of that book, because, we took a bad shot. They hit a 3 at the other end. We turned it over. They got a layup at the other end. Just those little things. We miss a block out and they get the rebound and hit a 3 or get an and one. Those are the things that we've got to get ourselves to doing, where hey, we turn somebody over, we got to score at the other end, or we got to get a great shot, and that is a very talented basketball team. There's no question about that.
Coach, from your perspective, basketball is a weird game because of shooting percentages sometimes. So you come out red hot and you make 5 of your first 8, and then just can't hit anything for like 20 minutes of game time after that. Like, as a coach, what can you try and do when your team is just going through a cold spell like that?
Well, you have sometimes you have a long talk with the man upstairs, and to yourself. But it's funny. We had that segment where we drove in, missed a layup, got the rebound, missed the layup, missed the tip in, and it's like, whew, I'm not sure this is our night tonight. And but we rely on our shooting and our 3-point shooting, and hey, being 1 for 11 at halftime, and we had some very good looks, and those were the shots, and you have nights where you don't make shots, but that's something that if you do that, man, it's putting a lot of pressure on your defense every single possession, and hopefully we don't have any more shooting nights like we had up there.
Again, 4 o'clock on Saturday over there at Gainbridge Fieldhouse. It's Butler Northwestern in the Indy Classic. Obviously, the old Crossroads Classic has kind of turned into Butler and Purdue, at least carrying the Indy flag, if you will, over the NBA arena here. Coach, is this something you think will continue for you guys playing, and continuing the Indy Classic here over at Gainbridge?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, last year we played Wisconsin down there. This year Northwestern. I think it's a good neutral site game for us. Obviously, being here in town, and gives our fans an opportunity to come out and see us in a different environment in Indy. I like this game for us because it's like I said, it's a high level neutral site game.
I like it. Coach, thanks as always for stopping by. We appreciate these chats on Thursday mornings. Have fun on Saturday at the Fieldhouse, and we'll talk to you soon.
All right, guys. Thanks.
There he is, Thad Matta. Every week, the conversation brought to you by Thompson Furniture and Mattress in Columbus. In business since the year before Hinkle Fieldhouse opened, 1927. Lazy Boy, Indiana-made Smith Brothers Furniture, Stearns and Foster, I should say. Tempur-Pedic mattresses, free delivery to the entire Indianapolis metro area. But it's also worth the drive down to Columbus. If you're down there, check them out. ThompsonFurniture.net. We appreciate them helping us out to talk to Thad Matta every Thursday morning here at 93.5 and 107.5 The Fan. And you talk about one of those nights, UConn is the 5th-ranked team in the country, and when you're just not hitting anything inside or outside for up to 16, 18 minutes of game time for the most part, Kevin, I don't know how you recover from that on it.
Yeah, there was a moment in the second half. I remember Bizjack was wide open for a 3 at the top of the key. I think it would have got it to, 7 or 8, and maybe it's one of those where certainly Dan Hurley at least would have blown a gasket, knowing him. And then Bizjack misses it, and UConn comes down, and who knows, Ball or Mullins or somebody hits a 3, and it's just one of those like, okay, probably time to get back on the plane and make sure you get to class on time on Wednesday. So would not shock me at all if we're talking about the Huskies calling Indy home in that first weekend of April there. So they look very, very good. And again, Indy Classic, 4 o'clock, Butler Northwestern, and then 6:30. Purdue and Auburn over there. It's a top 25 matchup. Auburn has a team that certainly ran Purdue out of the gym last year in their way to making it all the way to the Final Four. A much different Auburn team, but can stress you in some ways. So we'll see if Purdue can finish off their non-conference with another ranked win, another win away from home.
239-1070, number to call. Dimitri's been hanging on for a while. I want to get to him before the break. We got Scott Agness coming up at the top of the hour. Good morning, Dimitri. What is on your mind on this fine Thursday?
I was just calling in. I was just like the Shane Steichen thing, man. Like, you got to have a certain system to play a guy that just came from a national championship game. Like, this guy came in looking pretty good. And I know Notre Dame is all highly – he went to the championship game. I just don't understand why you can't trust and believe in some of your players sometimes. Like,
yeah, I got it. We're up against the clock. I get the sentiment, and I've heard that a few times this week too. Like, as you pointed out, Kevin, Riley Leonard was not terrible. He was not that bad when he came in for the injured Daniel Jones.
You think people talk about our show like that? It's not terrible.
I'll tell you what, you ever ask a girl how she looks, and you're like,
oh boy,
you say
no, but to your point,
if you say not terrible, you might as well load up the Tinder profile and get back at it.
But to your point a minute ago, a couple of breaks go his way, and he had a pretty good game.
Yeah, we have dissected Riley Leonard more than anything. I mean, I feel like I'm a Riley Leonard therapist at this point, having watched him play college basketball. Do I think Riley Leonard is a longtime NFL starter? No. There's a reason why he fell to pick 189 in the draft. Does he possess some qualities that are attractive from a playmaking quarterback? Yes, he does. And I think the leg element, you could cater to that. I think one thing we haven't discussed enough from Sunday's game, maybe we can get into a little bit more tomorrow, and I guess Monday will be kind of a preview show. When you play Phillip Rivers, I think it stymies your run game a lot, too. I get that, hey, Rivers might get you in a right run play, run fit. I mean, Jonathan Taylor, I mean, that was Navy or Army trying to run it. He had 25 carries, and his long run was 11. I mean, how many times in Taylor's career has it been that tough sledding for him in a game? So I think if you were to play Leonard, you could produce some of that. Again, it's probably more volatile, and we're largely splitting hairs, in my opinion. I think at the end of the day, the point total probably would have been the same. And, I can hear Shane Steichen out on for this game plan for Seattle, we needed less volatility. We needed the higher floor, if you will, and that's what Rivers provides. Now, it stresses out, I think, all of your other elements. I don't think that is sustainable. And I think deep down, Shane Steichen knows it's not. But on Monday, he was adamant that there is more to this offense with Uncle Phil, and we'll find out here in a handful of days.
All right, coming up in a moment, we'll talk more a little bit about the NFL and where the playoff picture is looking right now. And also, top of the hour, Pacers. They're playing at home tonight. Scott Agness stops by for the Fieldhouse Files, and we'll talk to him about a couple of different things here as we continue at 93.5 and 107.5 The Fan.
Welcome to Wawa. We're open 24/7, so when the sun goes down but everyone's still up, Wawa has your late night fuel. Headed to a hangout? Stop in for snacks and sodas. Binge your favorite shows with burgers and hoagies. Gather around the table with garlic knots and a cheesy Wawa pizza. Or just chill on the couch with fries and whatever milkshake sounds good. Your night just got a whole lot tastier. Freshly made burgers, pizza, and so much more. When you got a late night craving, you got a Wawa. Price and participation may vary by store.
Hey, JMV, the holidays are upon us, and so is winter weather. This year, stay prepared and give everyone on your list the gift of peace of mind by giving a AAA membership. As a AAA member, you get roadside assistance 24/7, 365 days a year, whether it's a flat tire, dead battery, lock your keys in your car, and so much more. You also get exclusive travel discounts on hotels, rental cars, and even entertainment and events happening across the Hoosier State this holiday season. Now through the end of the year, new members can join AAA for just $50 for a one-year classic membership and add an associate for free. Then check another thing off your list by giving someone you care about a new AAA membership. Use the code HOLIDAY25 online at AAA.com or when calling 844-GO-AAA-GO. That's 844-GO-AAA-GO or visit your local AAA office today.
Marcus Morris here with Family Heating and Air. As we're reaching colder weather, you may find yourself in need of furnace service. At Family, we specialize in solutions to extend your furnace life. Call the Fix-It team from Family. You can easily reach us at familyhvac.net. From our family to yours, have a happy holiday.
Family Heating and Air is your trusted local independent American Standard heating and air conditioning dealer.
If you or someone you know needs help putting food on the table, that help is closer than you think. The Fan cares. We've partnered with local food banks and organizations to provide resources for those who need them. Just go to 1075thefan.com and look for the banner that says Find Free Food Near You. You'll find a link to Community Compass with an up-to-date and interactive map that shows locations, days, and times for you to collect food at no cost, as well as other resources to help you through this challenging time. Find community help now at 1075thefan.com.
It's Terry Stacy for Cynthia's Hallmark, and this Christmas, give her something she'll treasure forever. The most sought-after jewelry in the country, E. Newton. Timeless, elegant, and designed for everyday wear. And don't forget the classic Ronaldo bracelets, hand-wired with care in New Albany, Indiana, and these gifts are gifts she will truly love. E. Newton and Ronaldo are available only at Cynthia's Hallmark in Greenfield, and if you're looking for relaxation as a gift, explore the Lemon Lavender Collection. Pampering spa day favorites, perfect for anyone who could use a little comfort this season. And you've got to feel the lavender-scented Warm Pals. They're gently weighted, warm or cool, and designed to give that soothing hug-like feeling. Gifts that fit every budget for every person on your list. You'll find just the right presents at Cynthia's Hallmark, including gift cards. Make your holiday giving meaningful, memorable, and magical. Shop locally owned Cynthia's Hallmark, celebrating 40 years. 116th and Allisonville Road, 96th and Lantern Road, 116th and Brook School Road, and in Greenfield.
With Wawa's rewards program, you can rack up points on the items you buy every day, even fuel. Boost your totals with a breakfast sizzly. Score points with your morning coffee. With Wawa rewards, points put the power in your hands. You can choose to redeem them for what you love most, like an iced latte for an extra pick-me-up or your lunchtime hoagie. Download the Wawa app today. When you gotta get rewarded, you gotta Wawa. Fuel rewards not available in New Jersey or were legally prohibited. See full details at wawarewards.com. Price and participation may vary by store.
Progressive knows sports brings people together, but you gotta feel bad for people who don't even get it. Some people will never know what it's like to see their favorite team's hopes decided by a ping pong ball to draft the next superstar. Or not. I mean, sure, it's silly for your happiness to hinge on the success of a 20-year-old entry-level employee, but you just can't help yourself. The stress is exhilarating. Progressive can't bring people together like the draft, but we can bring your home and auto insurance together with a bundle. So switch and see if you could save hundreds. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers not available in all states or situations.
Hey, fans! Welcome back to Fansville's Cheers and Tears. Oh. Okay, so like everybody deals with losing, right? To a rival on a last-second field goal. Whatever, it's fine. I'm totally fine. But I cope with losing with an ice-cold Dr. Pepper. Those 23 flavors are like so delicious. They totally wash away the pain of your college football team taking a big fat L. College football. It's a
Hey
pepper
everyone,
thing.
it's Jake from Payless Liquors. Charlie said sell it, so stop by one of our 26 family-owned locations and stock up for the holidays with these great deals. Woodford Fist for $29.99, Captain Morgan half gallons for $24.99, and Mick Ultra 18 packs for $23.99. Gillimarca Prosecco for $15.99, Martini and Rossi Asti for $10.99, and KJVR Shard for just $9.99. Join us on Saturday the 20th from 10 a.m. to noon at our East Street location for our Blanton's Gold Barrel Select Drop. Why pay more when you can pay less here at Payless Liquors?
Hey, it's JMV later on this afternoon at 3, downtown Coach's Tavern. Me, Tommy S., Brent Holverson, Larceny, Bourbon Locks, Luna Azul, Tequila Shots, samples, and more. You got to join us starting at 3.
You're listening to the Fan Morning Show on Sports Radio 93.5 and 107.5 The Fan.
Never boring around here. You got Phillip Rivers starting at quarterback for the Indianapolis Colts. You've got the Indiana Hoosiers with potentially 15 guys in the upcoming NFL draft. You've got the Hoosiers with the reigning Heisman Trophy winner. You've got the Hoosiers with back-to-back Coach of the Year awards for Curt Cignetti. It's just, it keeps going and going and going. It's always interesting around here. We've been very blessed, and this Indiana run is something to behold, Kevin Bowman.
Yeah, I wanted to get this Tom Allen audio for those that maybe missed it yesterday. Obviously, Tom was at Indiana for whatever it was, I think 6 years, and now he's at Clemson as their defensive coordinator, was at Penn State there, and they're getting ready for the bowl prep, and he was asked about Indiana's success. I'm curious your guys' thoughts on it, because I think, when you first hear it, you could certainly take it in a couple of different directions. So this is Tom Allen yesterday about Indiana football.
Just super happy for the players. Man, I've texted a bunch of them, their parents, just so happy for them. A bunch of those guys are playing for them. We got one was the Big Ten Player of the Year on the offensive line, and the kicker's doing extremely well. Receivers, a bunch of linemen, DBs, just one of their linebackers. Just really, really happy for those guys, and just really happy that they've chosen to invest in football. That's something they know they needed to do. Said that when I left, and they had not done that in the past at a level that was necessary, and it's been awesome to see them recognize that and invest and be able to see them be rewarded for that.
Interesting. Did I sense a little bit of shade there, or a little bit of, hey, I could have did this? But they did invest in him. I don't act like they didn't put money into the program when he was here. It was a unique, situation.
Yeah,
the world changed, but
you could listen to that and say that's sour grapes. But I think you also can listen to that and say Tom Allen is exactly right. And it's funny, James, when you bring that up, I went back to Tom Allen's statement when he got fired from Indiana, and he released a statement, and that statement, part of it read as this: college football has changed dramatically over the past several years. Some of those changes have been a shock to the conscience of those who support IU football. The time has come to fully embrace those changes, and I pray that IU does that. And if you think back to his tenure, again, he had a slew of offensive coordinators in a 6-year period. Kalen DeBoer is one of them, who now is coaching at Alabama. And remember the conversation we had last week I think it was last week, maybe it was earlier this week. I don't know, all the days are running together. But, Indiana's retaining Brian Haynes, their defensive coordinator. Look around the college playoff landscape. There are many teams losing their coordinators. But financially, Indiana's paying their defensive coordinator $3 million. That is financial commitment.
Mm-hmm.
So I hear the Tom Allen comments, and yeah, maybe there is a little shade, and there's a little bit of like, I could have done this, to your point.
Yeah, bring the Brinks truck to my campaign.
And there is probably
my tenure.
There is probably a little pushback that needs to happen there. But I do think the financial element of
That's true.
what this can mean. And look, I think Curt Cignetti almost wagged his finger back at IU and said, if I'm doing this, we have to do this and this and this, and that means that money is here and this money's here, and maybe not all the money goes across the parking lot to the hall. Maybe some of it stays here because football is king. I mean, that's just point blank period. Even for, the rich heralded college basketball programs that are out there, football is still the biggest financial driver within your athletic department, and arguably within your university. So, I thought those were some interesting comments from Tom Allen.
Yeah, and I'm going to push back a little bit, too. I get what he's saying. He was trying to build something. They had that magical kind of year where they won some games. People were surprised, and they couldn't really build on that. Curt Cignetti came in here, James, and he grabbed this program by the throat. And he started walking around campus, and he goes, no, I don't want to hear anything about how it used to be or how it is or how it was. This is who we are moving forward, and I'm not going to accept anything less. And he stuck to that word, and he brought some great players in, and he brought a foundation kind of with him, and he's putting that in place. And now he's back-to-back coach of the year nationally in college football. He took that program by the throat and said, you're coming with me. Let's go.
Well, and honestly, when I hear Tom Allen's comments, it might be an indirect shot at Michael McRobbie and the previous administration down there. And Pam Whitten, and I'm going above the athletic director. I'm going above Scott Dolson. I'm going university president.
Mm-hmm.
Pam Whitten, who I believe came from Kennesaw State, so I don't act like it's like a huge football background, but she realized or knew what successful football can mean. Whereas I don't, and maybe I'm talking out of line here, I don't think Michael McRobbie realized that or had that focus. And again, the college football landscape has changed a lot, even since Tom Allen last coached at Indiana University there. So I just think the financial commitment and the ability to, again, retain your staff. I mean, we're talking about 2 straight years, and we'll see what happens in the offseason, but we're talking 2 straight years of Indiana being the talk of the college football world, and they've lost 1 dude to UCLA from a staff standpoint. Like, that never happens. Whenever you see these stories of teams out of nowhere reaching the mountaintop or close to it, the staff gets just picked apart from a national landscape. And yet Brian Haynes with $3 million is going to make more than, 90% of probably the head coach openings that are out there. So it's a big time financial commitment. And I do think Tom Allen's words there are very accurate, even if it does sound a little shade.
All right, coming up in a moment, we turn our attention to the Indiana Pacers back home at night over at the Fieldhouse, tonight, I should say. They will be entertaining the New York Knicks. Scott Agness from Fieldhouse Files stops by next. 93.5, 107.5 The Fan.
The Ride with JMV.
I go back to January and with Chris Ballard prior to that, just wanting to make dramatic changes because I felt it was time. But when you ask me in the present if I think they're going to do it, I would tell you by what they did with the 2 first-rounders, that tells you that they're going to be back. But what would change that? Would losing out this season?
The Ride with JMV.
Weekdays 3 to 6
on 93.5 and 107.5. The Fan.
Do you need furnace or heat pump service and need to find a local well-trained expert you can trust like Family Heating and Air Conditioning? We'll find that American Standard air dealer at IndyHomeComfort.com.
It happens every holiday. Food comas, piles of wrapping paper, Uncle Harold's asleep in the recliner. It's only $5.45. But then, Cousin John rolls in with holiday scratch-offs from the Hoosier Lottery. Starting at just $1, they're the perfect gift for making the most of the one time of year all 30 cousins are gathered together in one living room. Unwrap instant fun with holiday scratch-offs. Hoosier Lottery, champions of play. Must be 18 or older to play. Gift responsibly.
This Christmas, get a bonus AI Essentials course when you enroll in any My Computer Career IT program by the end of the year. That's a $3,900 value. Attend classes online or on campus. Enjoy lifetime job placement support and IT certifications in high demand. Go to mycomputercareer.edu today and take the free career evaluation. That's mycomputercareer.edu, an elite CompTIA certification partner. Conditions apply to AI offer and financial aid is available to those who qualify, including the GI Bill.
You'll get more than you expect with McValue at McDonald's. Like deals on your late night go-tos when the party goes till dawn. And savings on their faves. So date night always passes the vibe check. Plus, when the fam shows up for the weekend, you can show out for breakfast.
Enjoy a $3 sausage McMuffin with egg or egg McMuffin and pair it with a $1.49 any size Coke. Price and participation may vary, cannot be combined with any other offer.
Without an Advent clinic nearby, people suffering needlessly from chronic nasal congestion and sinus infections would be stuck with either Band-Aid or Sledgehammer solutions. Band-Aids are pills or nasal sprays, and they're not true solutions. Surgery is a sledgehammer, and that's what we're trying to avoid. Because most people don't need surgery for nose and sinus issues, nor do they want a 14-day recovery. Our unique Advent approach can, in 20 minutes in our office, open your blocked nose for good, with only 1-day recovery. I'm Advent founder Dr. Kandula. Outside of Advent's four walls, invasive surgery is what they'll recommend. But here, you will find effective and convenient in-office solutions to help you stop the need for Band-Aids and avoid the sledgehammer.
Go to adventknows.com to schedule your appointment, because Advent knows when you breathe well, you live better. Most insurance accepted.
Twin Peaks is the best in the game. Here, it's bigger game days and bolder fight nights. I mean, where else can you find a scratch kitchen that always comes in clutch every day from lunch to late night? Only at Twin Peaks, the #1 sports bar.
No one does happy hour like Twin Peaks. Everything from tequila cocktails and bourbon to top shelf spirits and cocktails served over ice balls. Local craft beers and handcrafted whiskey cocktails round out the adventurous drink menu. And don't forget about the 29-degree drafts.
JMV here for my friends John and Chris Love at Love Heating and Air Conditioning. Make sure your home is cozy and comfortable during these icy cold winter months. Need heating service? Tell them JMV sent you. If a repair is needed, Love will waive the $95 service fee. And should you need a new furnace, Love is a Heil Heating and Cooling dealer. Call Love today, 317-353-2141. Let Love and Heil take care of your home today, 317-353-2141. Tell them JMV sent you.
Do you owe $10,000 or more in credit card debt or personal loans? With credit card debt at all-time highs, Debt Relief Advocates is urgently notifying consumers of debt relief now being made available, designed to aid consumers with out-of-control credit card debt. Those who qualify and enroll for this relief program will only have to pay back a fraction of what they owe. This is not bankruptcy or a debt consolidation loan. This is a relief program that credit card companies would rather you not know about, as it ends your debt nightmare and saves you lots of money. Consumers owing at least $10,000 in credit card debt or personal loans can now take advantage of this debt relief as the cost of living skyrockets. Debt Relief Advocates has established a relief hotline for you to call to learn what debt reduction you may qualify for, so don't wait. For this free information, call the Relief Hotline at 800-606-8737. 800-606-8737. 800-606-8737.
From the DriveHubler.com studios, this is 93.5 and 107.5 The Fan.
WIBC HD2, HD3, Indianapolis.
The Colts take on the San Francisco 49ers on Monday Night Football. The coverage begins at 4:30 on 93.5 and 107.5 The Fan and 97.1 Hank FM.
You're listening to The Fan Morning Show on Sports Radio 93.5 and 107.5 The Fan.
Going to be talking Pacers in a moment here with Scott Agness, and also we got Monday Night Football game this week. San Francisco 49ers coming down Thursday night. I like these later in the season games that they'll have sometimes on Thursday night. But in the meantime, Scott Agness does join us, as he is wont to do every Thursday morning at 9 a.m. here on the Fieldhouse Files. That's where you can find his stuff on 93.5, 107.5 The Fan. We're happy to have him and have him tell us about some of the stuff he's been working on. Pacers have lost 4 of their last 6. They had a nice little stretch where they won 4 of 6. We've been talking about this all morning. What are the Knicks going to look like when they come in tonight? Are they going to be banged up? Are they going to give some guys some rest after the NBA Cup? What are we looking at for the Knicks this evening?
Yeah, what we might be looking at is a few of them that have suffered the Vegas flu, similar to what is the Miami flu after they celebrated down there in Vegas with the NBA Cup. For certain, yeah, because you got 4 guys, Jeff, right now on the injury report as questionable, with Anunoby, with Hart, with Robinson, and with Towns as well. So it's one of the hotter teams in the league. They've won 5 in a row. They're coming off that cup. But what I do remember is those first few games after the Pacers went through this, after they won and got to the cup finals, is they struggled for the next week. Their first game was also on the road. It felt like an extended road trip. So I would not expect the Knicks to be at full strength or at full focus for that matter either.
Scott, have you ever had the Vegas flu?
I don't think I have. I've been on the struggle bus, but I have not had the Vegas flu like they could have the Vegas flu.
All right.
Sometimes the Vegas flu can stay with you forever, so be grateful for that, Scott.
He ain't got that. Scott, when you look at just the defensive effort, especially in that Wizards game, where do they need to be better in that regard? Because I get that you're not going to make shots and you're playing with guys sometimes who are probably G leaguers at best, but that defensive effort really had my eyebrows raised. Like, what the heck am I watching?
Yeah, I think it starts within the players. Players have to hold each other accountable. It's not a good sign, right? When Rick Carlisle burns a timeout, it feels they weren't ready and uses a timeout just over 1 minute into that game. So I think it starts with individual accountability, and then from there, guys have to know their assignments. Guys have to be in their assignments. It just looked like a sloppy, half-hearted effort in trying to get through the game rather than play the game and win the game. And so the good news is they've had a couple days to think about it. They had a day off. This is just they've only played 3 games in their last 13 days. So this should be as shored up and as clean as they have played and looked, you would think, since the season started because of this NBA Cup. If you don't go to Vegas, it's finally the first breather you're able to get since the season tipped off in mid-October.
Scott Agness, his work, Fieldhouse Files, or you can find it. Scott, I want to shift gears to Caitlin Clark back on the court. Last week we saw her with the Team USA camp. I was listening to Stephanie White with Jake yesterday. Stephanie was one of the assistants down there, and it sounded like not only Leah Boston, but Kelsey Mitchell had a conflict, or else she would have been at the camp as well. What does that mean, I guess, from a USA calendar? Obviously, we don't have the Olympics until 28, but could we see Caitlin Clark in any public, I guess, 5-on-5 action between now and the start of the WNBA season? Is there any USA stuff between now and then?
No, I don't think there is leading up to all of that. This was kind of the first of many camps that USA will be holding here leading up to the World Cup qualifying and things like that, and for a number of reasons. One, because, how they're trying to put all these parts together at the same time. They've got a new managing director in Sue Bird. They have a new head coach in Kara Lawson, who's the head coach at Duke, which is why she hosted everyone to Raleigh there this past weekend. But it was absolutely encouraging. I mean, it was great to see Caitlin. We talked to her on a Zoom for about 10 minutes. And she was able to talk basketball again, right? Like, no more golf questions, no more real health questions other than how are you doing and what progress have you made? And this is as refreshing as it is for us as it probably is for her. She said she's 100% healthy, that she was starting to feel like herself when she was out there. Just at times, the wind and not being in game rhythm and shape and such obviously got to her, but that's totally expected. This is, if you look at the roster, Kevin, of the 18 players that participated, it's not even close to what the final one will be. More than anything, it's to see who has interest in it, who's willing to commit themselves to a 3-day camp and put themselves in the conversation, because a lot of the top players, and Nafisa Collier, who's still rehabbing from an injury, or Brianna Stewart, obviously will be involved. They had conflicts and did not make it.
So, Scott, are you going to just break the news now and say that Caitlin made the national team and she's officially a member of that? Because, boy, seeing her in that USA, I just feel like, it's probably a formality at some point in her career, right? But how much do you think she just appreciated having that opportunity to do that again in all seriousness?
Yeah, I think she smiled several times on the Zoom call, just thinking and talking about the basketball and who she was surrounded with. And here's the other thing I think about is when she's with this group, she's with like-minded individuals who are the best in the world, who love the game as much as her, who are as talented as her. And so I think that also would elevate how you feel about where you're at in the game you're playing with that bunch. But more than anything, it was another checkpoint in her return here to basketball.
And Scott Agness, Fieldhouse Files, that's where you can find his work. Scott, last one from me. Anything update-wise, CBA, WNBA, where are we at with that? I felt like there was some sort of, hey, we're going to push it a few more weeks, and maybe around January was going to be the new timetable.
Yeah, January is the next expiration date. They've already, as you discussed there, renewed and continued on the current CBA just to continue talks here. If you talk to one side, if you talk to the league, they feel optimistic. They feel positive about the way things are going and obviously are expressing that excitement and optimism. If you talk to the Players Association, I saw an interview on CNBC with the Players Association director who was the exact opposite, was like, look, we're going to hold hard in our stances. We do not anticipate extending this deadline any further. We know what we're worth and we want to be paid like it. And so I think still there's a lot more than we even understand to be hammered out at this point. But the good news is with the extension here, it allows all these players, KB, to be at the team facility and to have communication with everyone. I think that's imperative right now. We talked with Lexi Hall. She was on a Zoom call for Unrivaled Media today, as was Kelsey Mitchell, Ari McDonald. They talked about being around the facility, still being around everyone. So that is one positive that has come from those extensions.
Scott Agness, Fieldhouse Files. James, you got one more?
Yeah, well, just one quick one. I know we've talked a lot about Caitlin and her health, but it sounds like Kelsey Mitchell is fully cleared and all of that. So did you have a chance to catch up with her during her media availability with Unrivaled to just kind of gauge where she is after kind of a scary ending to her season with the fever?
Yeah, she kind of deflected putting a specific timeline on what she had did or what her benchmark was. But she expressed appreciation for where she is, how far she's come along, and now she has a whole new appreciation and gratefulness for her health and what it took to get there and to try to do all the steps possible to prevent something like this from happening. But as we all know, I think more than anything, that was just a burnt out. She had given literally everything she could to that Fever franchise until her body said no more. But she, too, will be playing in Unrivaled. She signed up like Sophie Cunningham from Project B, but that's nothing that will be really much talked about for about 11 months. That's scheduled to start, I think, next November, mostly overseas kind of as a touring group. So her next thing, along with Lexi, Michaela Timpson serving as an alternate, by the way, of Unrivaled. So there's 4 of them that will play there over in Miami. And right now they're kind of having a mini training camp, get to know each other.
I like to get to know you better than any of that. Scott Agness, Fieldhouse Files. Scott, last thing, because I've said that already to you. If I'm reading correctly, Red Panda is going to be at the Colts game coming up, halftime show Monday night. Red Panda in a football stadium. Are you good with that?
That's interesting.
How's that going to work on the turf? I'm a little I don't know. Maybe the Phillip Rivers tripping on the logo has me worried from last week. I'm a little worried about the unicycle on the turf.
Well, what they got to do is facilities obviously will have a temporary platform that is flat that that they've got to drop out there, much like it's the Hall of Fame induction and they put up a platform out there. That's what it would have to be for sure.
Look at you. You are all over it. Honestly, Lucas Oil should hire you to run their halftime shows. Scott Agness, Fieldhouse Files. Scott, thank you, man.
You got it. Thanks, guys.
Man, I didn't even think about that. Shows you how little I know about halftime shows. Adam Vinatieri on the Anvil Monday night.
I was going to say, we don't get to watch very many of them. It feels like put the head down on the laptop, make sure you get a couple things out, and go grab something from the media line when it comes to food.
I think it's 8:15 kickoff coming up here Monday night. 5.5, 6-point spread, I believe.
I'm thinking I should probably just, after I get done following my story, I should probably just head over here and just sleep on the floor until the show starts Tuesday morning.
James,
I'm TBD for that episode of the show.
James, I'm down. I'll be going to the game. I might just do that same thing too. So
sleeping bags around.
Yeah,
I'm serious. I'm
Let's do it.
like, hey, sleep over here at Radio 1.
I mean, honestly, one of my favorite memories as a kid is just throwing the sleeping bag in the trunk and being like, I'm going over to Elliot Marshall's house. I'm going over to Adam Schneider. Like, this is awesome, man. Life can't get any better than this. Oh, I
don't know. Did it? Because now I got bills to pay. I'm like, I kind of miss those days.
We're gonna have to sleep next to like a cardboard box in here because we're still moving stuff in. So it'll be all right.
As long as the heat is on, we're good.
We'll get to our 8th sports story of the year. We're counting down from 10 to 1. We'll do that here in a couple of minutes. We started, of course, with 10 and 9, and we'll get to our 8th Indiana sports story of the year in a few. James, one thing that I think has gotten lost a little bit in the Colts news cycle over the last 7 to 10 days, obviously it's been so quarterback centric, but I would say in the last week plus, we have had the Javarius Ward 3 times in concussion protocol, easy for me to say. His season is now over. Braden Smith, neck concussion injury in the Jacksonville game. His, I guess to be technical, regular season is over. Both of them on injured reserve, which means they can't play again in the regular season. Now,
my understanding is that both are done for the year. Though.
Right. I just wanted to clarify a little bit. But yes, that is my assumption as well. Now, Braden is a free agent. Mooney is not. If I ask you the question, both, either, neither, in a Colts uniform September 2026, what would be your answer?
Either, meaning I would lean towards Javarius Ward. I think Braden Smith probably played his last snap for the Colts. Mainly because he's in a contract year.
Right.
Been through a lot recently. And I think as much as we're having that conversation about Javarius Ward, will he want to play anymore? Braden Smith probably needs to have that conversation with himself and his family. He's had some injury history beyond just the things he went through when he was going through the OCD struggles last year. But that one, I felt like the writing was kind of on the wall anyway. It kind of felt like Ryan Kelly to me, where we all knew going into this year, this is his last year. And they did draft your replacement relatively high. So Jalen Travis, you're hearing what they're saying about him. It sounds like he's going to be their right tackle of the future.
Yeah, I use this phrase quite often. At some point, you got to pass the torch. You can't just re-sign everybody to second, third, fourth contracts. This is not how the financial game works in the NFL. And you know what? Major credit to Chris Ballard, because I think not only at center, but I think even at right guard, the bang for your buck that you've gotten in moving from Ryan Kelly to Tanner Bortolini and then Will Fries to Matt Gonzalez, that has worked out for you. And that allows you to go get Cam Bynum in free agency, or, obviously the Mooney thing has been really complicated, but go spend, elsewhere where I think you really, really need it. And that's kind of how I view right tackle, that, they will, pass that torch to Jalen Travis. The Mooney thing, I know Adam Schefter had a report where he would like to come back. I'll be curious kind of just how that rest of the offseason plays out. Obviously he's in a very, I assume, still in that emotional football state.
Yeah. And I'm not sure if we'll hear from him. I know when the season ends, we usually get
maybe locker room
most of the guys,
day, right.
Maybe, but I don't know, if he technically is still going through the concussion symptoms or the IR protocol, we might not get a chance to hear from him. But certainly I agree with you about just weighing everything and kind of getting a deep breath away from the game.
No, that is a good point. And one thing also to keep in mind, too, and I don't know, maybe it's a little unfair of me to even mention this, but, I do think it plays into it. When you have guys that have signed multiple significant contracts in the league, like Mooney has, your willingness to risk it might be different than the undrafted free agent who's played 6 games in the NFL.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, I know we've kind of joked about it, but Phillip Rivers is helping his family out big time from a health insurance standpoint by coming back to playing football. I mean, that stuff, obviously, matters to a lot of these guys. So just a couple items I wanted to make sure we hit on here. All right, let's get back into our sports stories of the year. Again, these are our Indiana sports stories of the year. We have counted down the list early so far. And I think, Caleb, you're going to slide in here for Mark Dykton and help us out. So far, James, you went high school, right? You went little Luke Ertl, Braylon Mullins at 10. You went with the Jeffersonville Fishers 4A state championship game last spring as your number 9. Where are you going with number 8?
So I think I have to graduate to the pro ranks for this one. And I'm going to go with Indiana Fever, pushing the Aces to Game 5 of the semifinals and trying to get to the WNBA Finals. So that to me was just a great ending to that season. We obviously know what Kelsey Mitchell went through when she had the severe cramping and some other things that are much more concerning than that.
I forgot about that Kelsey Mitchell injury situation.
Yeah, but up until then, boy, she had put on a rock star season. first team all WNBA. So, yeah, that's not my number 8 on the list, is just that fever season ending kind of in like Cinderella run fashion where, you got to think the Aces swept in the WNBA finals. I believe it was the Mercury the Connecticut Sun. Well, actually,
Mercury.
it was the Mercury.
Yeah.
I forget they switched teams. I'm sorry.
Bonner and company.
Yeah, so they swept the Mercury. And, again, this is the fever team without Caitlin Clark that pushed them to the brink. And they were one, quarter overtime away from doing it. So I enjoyed that. It gave me a lot of joy to experience that this year.
Okay, so far, Caleb, Mark Dykton has gone with Miles McLaughlin in that story. Him and I both said that for number 10. He went the Sauce Gardner trade for number 9. Again, Mark is currently in front of Governor Braun's house right now trying to campaign for his Bears to become the Hobart Bears or the Munster Bears or Monsters of the Munster, like Andrew chimed in earlier with us here. You could agree, disagree. You could share your own list, but where are you going?
Well, I'll share Mark's list too, but I do want to start from 10 with mine. But did you not want me to play the 80 Mitchell counter guy?
I knew I was forgetting something.
Okay.
Number 8.
Okay, there we go. Now we got that checked off the list. I'll start from my number 10 and read to my number 8. And this team will come in to play later in my countdown, but I did want to throw this moment in. Number 10 for me is John Halliburton versus Giannis. I think that deserves a spot on the list. That was wild.
Oh, that is great.
Okay.
Oh, my gosh.
Because
is that in our bloopers to end 2025, or is that our legit story?
No, that's a moment. That's a moment. I was working.
It was a moment because, you're talking about, man, like, that's something we've never seen before, really. A dad
Caleb,
walking
that's
on the court. Number 9.
And let me chime in one more, Caleb, right there. For those who have not watched the Netflix, Starting Five? Is that what it's called? With Tyrese Halliburton as one of the 5 players. They have behind the scenes in the locker room of when he finds out about his dad. Like, he's literally on his phone at his locker, like, wait, what happened with my dad? And, watching his reaction, like reading the family group text, is one of the funniest things that I've seen. So if people haven't checked that out, definitely check that out.
Yeah, and then number 9, I don't know. This isn't of the comedic. This isn't comedic at all, but I thought Chris Ballard and Shane Steichen coming back to start this year. Sure. I thought that was a big story. Jim Irsay releases a statement after the last game of the season last year, so I thought that deserved to be up there because there's a lot of talk about that. And then number 8, I'm not the biggest racing guy in the world, and I wasn't even in Indianapolis when this happened, but the Penske cheating scandal. Okay. I have that at number 8. Do you want me to read off Mark's real quick?
Yeah, what did Mark have at 8?
He had, and this is just true Mark fashion.
Now
I don't know if you guys will have this on there, but he had the Mark Sanchez stabbing incident.
Oh my gosh. You guys are good. I didn't even think about that.
Yeah, I think that deserves a spot on the list. It was crazy.
James, did you even see? I didn't even
think about that, and I think I still have to might go to court next year to keep following up with this. Yes, seriously.
To cover the story, not because you were there, right?
No. I'm not on the jury. I'm not on the witness pool. None of that. I have to go there and.
That's really good. Well, mine's boring. Mine was Purdue a shot away from the Elite Eight over at Lucas Oil Stadium. Life after Zach Edey. I think we were curious what it would look like. And, it wasn't maybe the cleanest run to getting, whatever they were, a 4 seed, 5 seed in the tournament there. But that game against Houston, it was the late night Friday game here at Lucas Oil, and Purdue I thought Brayton Smith had one of the more impressive efforts you'll see against that Houston defense. And they just hung in there. You know who played great for them in that game was Cam Heidi. He had some huge shots, hit the corner 3. Remember the infamous inbounds play? There under the basket that certainly
what
Purdue
a great
fans
play design.
Will not forget that anytime soon. But to think they were one shot away from playing for another trip to the Final Four inside of Lucas Oil Stadium against a Tennessee team that you felt like they probably would have had a great chance against. That was 8 on my list. So far from me, Miles McLaughlin, Darren DeVries, and Purdue in the Sweet 16. So very good. Caleb, excellent. Excellent. Mark Dykton, hopefully you're not listening, but great work by you. Let's do a quick morning check down.
The Morning Checkdown on 93.5 and 107.5 The Fan.
All right, James, again, today is a Wednesday in the NFL world, if you will, for the Colts. They will start their practice schedule 3 days in a row as they get ready for the Monday night game against the San Francisco 49ers, nearly a touchdown underdog in that game. Injury-wise, could you go over maybe the top 3 or 4 guys that we should get some clarity on today?
DeForest Buckner practiced last week, coming back from a neck injury. Does he continue practicing this week, and is he cleared to play against the 49ers? Sauce Gardner, he's been out for the last couple of weeks due to a left calf injury. Does he practice for the first time since that injury today? And then Bernard Ryman, the starting left tackle, left Sunday's game in Seattle with a right elbow injury. Is he available to practice? And if not, does that mean Luke Tenuta will get his first start against the 49ers in his career, actually?
All right, Pacers back on the hardwood tonight inside of Gainbridge Fieldhouse. It'll be the first game this season with the Knicks. Now, we know the Knicks, as Scott Agness alluded to earlier, the Vegas flu could be alive and well. They won the NBA Cup out in the City of Sin on Tuesday. And if you look at the injury report, they have several guys questionable. Josh Hart, OG Anunoby, Karl Anthony Towns, and Mitchell Robinson. So basically, Jalen Brunson and Mikal Bridges seem like they are good to go. But there's a reason why the Pacers are only a 4-point underdog for this one. So we'll see if Indiana can tap into any of the, hey, let's try to run them into the ground a little bit and get what would be easily their best win of the season. So getting that at 7 o'clock tonight at the Pelicans on Saturday, and then a notable back-to-back coming up Monday and Tuesday right before Christmas. It's at Celtics, and then Miles Turner back inside of Gainbridge Fieldhouse coming up on Tuesday. Thursday night football tonight, Rams and Seahawks. Did I see the Rams had travel issues getting to Seattle too?
They did, and it's so weird to always see like them when they fly private have issues like that. But the last update I saw from Adam Schefter is that they were basically going to take the coaches and the players over on a different plane, leave all the other people who are not as important behind, and we'll get you at a later date or a later time. So I don't know if that should be used as an excuse if they lose tonight, but maybe it is a little bit of a factor.
Close to about a pick 'em in this game. Seattle slight favorite in this one. It's a huge game for the NFC pecking order from a number 1 seed standpoint.
Well, I'm going to venture to say you can't win based off just field goals again, so probably got to get in the end zone.
It's probably accurate against Matthew Stafford. And
analysis.
We'll see. Quite the week for Puka Nacua off the field. We'll see how he plays. Tonight, James Boyd, if you were back in the region at the Northwest Indiana Times, your thoughts on the Chicago Bears statement yesterday. Kevin Warren, their COO, saying the Arlington Heights Stadium project doesn't sound like it is progressing enough, and he threw out the location of Northwest Indiana as a possible spot for the Chicago Bears' new stadium.
Yeah, I can't remember what's the equivalent of Visit Indy up there, but I feel like I'll be calling whoever the local visiting company is, and also the Bricky Bowl people, and, you know, just surveying
the Steel Yard
where the Gary South Shore Railcats are playing. Yeah, it would be a busy day for your boy if I was still working up there, but it's big news. It's more of a headline now than anything, but the fact that Kevin Warren, the Bears, COO, drops that days away from probably one of their biggest regular season games in years shows you that even if the Bears are good, they're still pretty dysfunctional.
I guess leverage is king, but that's quite the statement there. Enjoyed hearing Matthew Graves back on with JMV yesterday, the Indiana State coach. Big-time heart issue back, I think, in November. Maybe it was October. Sounds like he will make his full return to coaching, hopefully coming up here by the end of the month. Belmont was a game he mentioned for Indiana State. They've had a nice start here, 7-4 in the non-conference. They'll start Missouri Valley play tonight with Bradley. And a reminder from a college basketball standpoint, a lot of college football this weekend. Playoff game tomorrow. Indiana will know their opponent. It's Alabama, Oklahoma from Norman. We get the 3 playoff games in on Saturday, along with 2 NFL games. But locally, college basketball, Indiana is back in action. They've got Chicago State. But over here at Gainbridge Fieldhouse, the 4 o'clock game will be Butler and Northwestern in the Indy Classic. And at 6:30, it is Purdue and Auburn as both of those teams wrap up there. Pretty much their non-conference play. Butler's got one more coming up on Monday. All right, on the other side, Jason Hammer going to join us next. It's a Thursday. It's 9:30. Hammer's got some picks for us.
Do you own a small business? You need to hear this. A seismic shift is coming. It's time to get super sure. Not kind of sure, not pretty sure, but super sure. Coming soon.
Welcome to Wawa. We're open 24/7. So when the sun goes down, but everyone's still up, Wawa has your late night fuel. Headed to a hangout? Stop in for snacks and sodas. Binge your favorite shows with burgers and hoagies. gather around the table with garlic knots and a cheesy Wawa pizza. Or just chill on the couch with fries and whatever milkshake sounds good. Your night just got a whole lot tastier. Freshly made burgers, pizza, and so much more. When you got a late night craving, you got a Wawa. Price and participation may vary by store.
The Butler basketball season is rolling along. Don't miss your chance to get in on the action. Your next chance to get to Hinkle Fieldhouse to cheer on your Butler Bulldogs is Monday, December 22nd, when the Dogs take on NJIT at 2 p.m. A weekday matinee. Come see the sunlight shine through the windows at iconic Hinkle Fieldhouse. With most students home for break, there are some great unique seating options, so buy your tickets now at butlersports.com/buy tickets. Be a part of Hinkle Magic and make Hinkle your second home this season.
Bowling, 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 keep them balls a-rolling. Bowling, 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 Royal Pin.
The holidays are rolling in at Royal Pin Entertainment. Celebrate the season your way with cheer-filled holiday parties. From thrilling bowling lanes to action-packed laser tag, there's fun for everyone. And when it's time to refuel, enjoy delicious catering options that'll satisfy any crowd. Need to unwind? The full-service bars are ready to serve. At Royal Pin Entertainment, they cater to events of all sizes with some of the largest event spaces in Indianapolis. Perfect for corporate Christmas parties, family gatherings, or any festive get-together. Give your group the unforgettable holiday experience they're hoping for.
Set them up, knock them down, send them flying, spinning round.
Book your holiday event now at royalpin.com. That's royalpin.com.
Royal Pin, bowling, bowling. Royal Pin, bowling.
Hey, it's Jake Query. I've been talking a lot about winning football in Indy lately, but how about winning lunch? You could lose lunch with an overpriced sandwich meal or average greasy fast food, but why would you want to do that? It's so easy to win with lunch with Chicago's Pizza. Right now, the Chicago's Pizza team is prepping fresh ingredients and freshly made crust ready to bake right before you arrive. You can get deep dish pizza, traditional pizza. You can choose thin or crispy crust. All amazing. And you can add a large healthy salad with homemade ranch dressing from the salad bar, hot fresh made breadsticks with marinara or cheese sauce, a fountain drink and dessert pizza. And you have a winning lunch right there at a great price. It's fresh and delicious, all for just $13 all in. This is a no-brainer deal. Get in, get great food, and get out fast. It's Chicago's Pizza all-in $13 lunch buffet. Get it weekdays from 11 a.m. to 1:30 p.m. at 18 Indiana area locations, 25 statewide. Find the closest location near you at chicagospizza.com. Be a winner at lunch at Chicago's.
Food insecurity is an urgent problem, one that impacts real Hoosiers. You can help today. Gleaners needs donations. Your contribution goes further with Gleaners. For every $10 you give, Gleaners leverages their resources to turn your $10 into $90 worth of groceries for families who desperately need help right now. Your gift benefits local community members, and every dollar counts. Gleaners also needs volunteers now to help with warehouse distribution. Go to gleaners.org and donate or get involved today.
Marcus Morris here with Family Heating and Air. As we're reaching colder weather, you may find yourself in need of furnace service. At Family, we specialize in solutions to extend your furnace life. Call the Fix-It team from Family. You can easily reach us at familyhvac.net. From our family to yours, have a happy holiday.
Family Heating and Air is your trusted local independent American Standard heating and air conditioning dealer.
With Wawa's Rewards program, you can rack up points on the items you buy every day, even fuel. Boost your totals with a breakfast sizzly. Score points with your morning coffee. With Wawa Rewards, points put the power in your hands. You can choose to redeem them for what you love most, like an iced latte for an extra pick-me-up or your lunchtime hoagie. Download the Wawa app today. When you gotta get rewarded, you gotta Wawa. Fuel rewards not available in New Jersey or were legally prohibited. See full details at wawarewards.com. Price of participation may vary by store.
Hey, fans! Welcome back to Fansville's Cheers and Tears. Oh. Okay, so like everybody deals with losing, right? To a rival on a last-second field goal. Whatever, it's fine. I'm totally fine. But I cope with losing with an ice-cold Dr. Pepper. Those 23 flavors are like so delicious. They totally wash away the pain of your college football team taking a big fat L. College football. It's a pepper
At AT&T, we guarantee our network, so you can talk college football with your BFF while taking Buster to the vet.
Hey, yeah, I can't believe he ate the whole thing of chicken wings.
And I can't believe we're staging a comeback. Touchdown!
Yes!
Yes!
Staying connected matters. That's why in the rare event of a network outage, you'll automatically get a bill credit for a full day's service. For wireless downtime lasting 60 minutes or more caused by a single incident impacting 10 or more towers, must be connected to impacted tower at onset of outage. Restrictions and exclusions apply. See att.com/guarantee for full details.
The Ride with JMV.
The one criticism that you have about, well, you didn't prepare. Nobody was talking about wanting to prepare with the backup quarterback earlier this year. And I know some of you are going to say, well, I mean, Daniel Jones does have a history with the Giants of an injury. Maybe you should have had somebody else on the ready. Well, I mean, they did have somebody else on the ready until he about popped his eyeball out trying to stretch before a game, and now he's no longer on the ready.
The Ride with JMV.
Weekdays 3 to 6
on 93.5 and 107.5. The Fan.
Comes the money.
Here we go. Money talk.
Here comes the money.
You're listening to the Fan Morning Show on Sports Radio 93.5 and 107.5 The Fan.
Man, we got to make some money. It's a holiday season, point blank. We got to make money, and Jason Hammer's going to try and do that for us here. Coming up tonight, one of the more anticipated Thursday night games of the year, Rams at Seahawks. Seattle a slight favorite in this one. As James pointed out earlier, Devontae Adams doubtful for this one. The over-under 42.5, so a little bit lower on that end than maybe I would have first thought. To talk more about it, you hear him every afternoon on our sister station, WIBC. He is Jason Hammer. Hammer, we're not used to you on the phone, but good morning to you.
Yeah, I kind of feel like this might have to be the new norm because since we've changed buildings, you know, we went from the Monument Circle building over to the new Urban One building. They told me this is a quote, it's a cold day in hell before you have an office or a place to work again. So that's why I'm on the phone right now, and I'll be in the office a little bit later on.
Is that a direct quote or is that an indirect quote?
I'm paraphrasing a little bit.
Well, I mean, honestly, as long as we win, I mean, you could write us a letter each week and we would read it on air. I mean,
pigeon carrier delivery?
Literally, yes. Pigeon carrier. I don't care. We just need a win. So what are we looking at tonight?
11-4 on Thursday night game plays, gentlemen. 11-4. So let's keep this thing rolling tonight. I'm with you. I like this game tonight. Rams at Seahawks. Around 1.5. Seattle's the home favorite. I like that total, though. I'm looking at this total, boys, and I feel like we're going to ride the lightning tonight and take a rare over on a Thursday night. Now, I know short weeks usually is a recipe for the under here, but at just 42, some spots have it 42.5. If you look at what the Rams have done just the last 4 weeks on their own, okay, these are the point totals the Rams have put up in the last 4 games, 41, 45, 28, and 34. They've scored 33 points or more 8 times this year. And listen, I think you see a little bit of passing tonight. The forecast calls for rain in Seattle, but you know what? It rains every day in Seattle, as long as it's not windy. I had a gambling degenerate friend of mine once tell me that the rain benefits the offensive player. As long as it's not windy, the rain benefits the offense, because the offensive player knows where he's going to cut. The defensive player has to react. You slip, you fall, you break a long run. These are the kind of things that degenerates talk about here. So I'm in. I am in like Flint. We're going to ride the lightning over 42 tonight. I know Adams is probably not going to play for the Rams. Seahawks are having some injuries up front. But I like the total. We're going to go over. And, Kevin, we're going to win so much freaking money tonight. We're going to build the Bears a new stadium in Beech Grove, Indiana. Through Northwest Indiana, we're building the Bears a stadium in Beech Grove.
The monsters of Beech Grove. I can see it now. Billboards everywhere around 465.
I feel like anybody who heard the news about the Bears are just like, they forget the Northwest Indiana part, and they're just like anywhere in Indiana.
Anywhere. You know, put it next to Holiday World for all I care.
So Hammer, we have to ask, what are you looking at as far as individual props heading into Thursday night?
Nothing. Absolutely nothing, James. Listen, I know when I'm beat. When it comes to prop bets on Thursday night, I'm France. I waved that white surrender flag a long time ago. So I'm not going to waste anybody's time. But since we were basically an Army ridiculous kick away from running the table on games last week, if you don't mind, let's run through some more games.
Okay, I'm with that.
let's go to Monday Night Football, the Colts and the Niners. And I know you guys are going to be talking about this a lot, especially on Monday of next week. But this is the last time I'm going to talk to you guys before the game. Take a look at the under in that one, under 46.5. Look, I think the Colts might be a little better offensively than they were at Seattle, but Seattle's got a pretty good defense. That's a tough place to play. Seattle, I think, is second in points allowed. I think the Colts will be a little bit better, but let's not get it twisted here. The greatest show on turf isn't going to happen on Monday Night Football. Colts are going to play some ball control. I think they're going to feed Jonathan Taylor a lot more. Tyler Warren's going to see a lot more looks. So we're going to go under on the Colts and 49ers. I like it at 46.5 right now. I feel like that's probably going to go down just a little bit. So if you want to strike while the iron's hot and get the best number, that's what you want to do. Nobody likes to bet the under. I get it. It feels like something communists do. But if you like money and you want to buy gifts for Christmas, let's hammer that under at 46.5.
That is Jason Hammer, Degenerates Next Door, where you can find his podcast. I'm a huge fan of cheering for the over tonight. I am all in on that. Okay, anything from a college football playoff standpoint? We talk college football with you quite a lot. Some of these lines are wild, Hammer. First off, you got pretty much a pick 'em tomorrow night. Alabama, Oklahoma. Oklahoma favored at home by 1.5. Texas A&M, Miami's our noon game Saturday. They're favored by 3.5. Texas A&M over Miami. And then the group of 5 spreads are just huge. Ole Miss is a 17.5-point favorite over Tulane, and Oregon has got 21 points over James Madison. What do you like, if anything?
So I gave you last week Oregon, and I'm a little shocked that line has stayed where it's at. So I kind of feel good. That's a big number, but I'm going to lay 21.5 with Oregon. I think they take James Madison just to the absolute woodshed there. And I don't know about you guys, but my afternoon show is really hoping Alabama beats Oklahoma.
Yes.
Not from an X's and O's standpoint, but for 2 weeks, I'll get to make fun of those trailer trash hillbillies from Alabama on our afternoon show, Kevin. And nothing would do this kid from Rocky Top's heart more justice than just ripping on those no good, rotten, roll tide, sister-loving fools down from Alabama. I hope the Tide win this game, Kevin. I'm rooting for it for my show's sake.
Caitlin DeBoer needs to call you in here for the pregame speech here.
I was going to say, you sound like a guy who'd be on the Paul Feinbaum show.
I am thinking a little bit about that over-under, Hammer, just because those offenses, I mean, you watch the SEC endlessly.
Yeah.
I mean, Alabama had negative rushing yards in the SEC title game, and Oklahoma, sometimes you watch their offense, and it looks like the Colts with Phillip Rivers.
It does, too. Take a look at the under in that game, by the way. But I think it says something. I mean, nobody's beaten Alabama twice in a year in like 130-plus years. You would have thought Georgia maybe accomplished it, or, perhaps LSU or Florida or somebody. But it's tough to beat the Tide twice in a year. But, man, the way that offense has been the final month, not just the game against Oklahoma, but whatever that was against Georgia, I just can't put any hard-earned money on it right now. So I would take a look at the total, and I'd kind of lean with the under.
All right, again, Jason Hammer, WIBC, every afternoon, the Hammer and Nigel show. Degenerates Next Door is the podcast, and what he likes here this week. Tonight, the over 42.5, that is Seahawks and Rams. If you want to dabble in the Colts and 49ers on Monday, he likes the under of 46.5. I like both those. And then he's taken Oregon in the points, does not believe in the Dukes of James Madison at all. That is a 3-touchdown favorite for the Oregon Ducks. Hammer, we probably won't talk to you because it'll be Christmas next Thursday. Have a great, great Christmas. Happy New Year, brother.
You guys do the same. I appreciate you guys having me on. And this afternoon, we've got the governor in studio. And if you don't think I'm not trying to get the Bears to Indiana, you're wrong.
All right, well, get it done, brother.
Mark Dykton's going to be banging on that door like it's an ex-girlfriend in there. Good luck with that, Hammer. That is Mike Braun, of course, who did chime in on Twitter, I saw last night, James Boyd, welcoming the Bears' idea of being in Northwest Indiana.
Oh, you got to get on your soapbox for sure.
I asked this in all seriousness, what's the biggest football stadium up there? Would it be Valpo's?
I'm not sure. I know Maryville High School has a huge
right off 65,
stadium.
right? When you look over to the left, if you're driving north up there. I mean, obviously they would build their new one. I know what I'm saying here, but I'm trying to think of like what is the biggest stadium up there.
It might be the Maryville one. Oh, people keep saying the Steel Yard. That's baseball. So I don't know how much you can to go back to the old Oakland Raiders Stadium. We have the old the diamond in the middle.
Sure, yeah. Somehow if you could combine the Steel Yard and the Bricky Bowl, that's where I want the Bears to play. I've become the biggest Bears fan out there. All right, we'll do it one final time here. It's a Fan Morning Show.
You'll get more than you expect with McValue at McDonald's. Like deals on your late night go-tos when the party goes till dawn. And savings on their faves. So date night always passes the vibe check. Plus, when the fam shows up for the weekend, you can show out for breakfast.
Enjoy a $3 sausage McMuffin with egg or egg McMuffin and pair it with a $1.49 any size Coke. Price of participation may vary, cannot be combined with any other offer.
The blue and gold look to take a bite out of the Big Apple on Thursday.
Offensive rebound, Neesmith on the foul line. Drives it over here to the left wing, then comes right back into the lane and sets up Furphy for three out of the far corner.
The Pacers host the New York Knicks Thursday at 7. This Eastern Conference showdown is always a must-see game. So get your tickets at Pacers.com/tickets.
Rebounded by Jackson, shot clock to 3. Nembhard from the right edge beat the shot clock and hit a 3.
Pacers-Knicks, Thursday at 7.
This is James with Price Point Comfort Heating and Cooling. Out working during the holidays, I always love getting to customers' houses. They're baking, getting the free cookies or the cakes or things you're going to take home with you. Sometimes you're there helping somebody on Christmas Day, and it becomes a benefit. My wife's like, "Oh, you had to work today," and I don't tell her about the case of cookies I got in the truck that I got while I was at Mrs. Jones's house. So we're here if you need us. You're part of our family.
Price Point Comfort Heating and Cooling is your trusted local independent American Standard heating and air conditioning dealer.
Xfinity is the network you can rely on. Like a close friend who will give it to you straight. The friend who will tell you that new haircut, it's not great. Friends make sure friends get good haircuts. And Xfinity makes sure you get a good deal on Wi-Fi. Xfinity gives you reliable fiber-powered Wi-Fi at our best price. This holiday season through January 4th, get gig speed Wi-Fi for just $50 a month for 5 whole years. No strings, no commitments. Just super fast, reliable gig speed Wi-Fi with our best equipment and unlimited data included. Save yourself from questionable decisions and save over Verizon and AT&T. Xfinity, imagine that. Restrictions apply. Requires paperless billing and auto pay with stored bank account. Taxes and fees extra. Xfinity Internet powered by fiber and connected to premises by coaxial cable. Actual speeds vary.
911, what's your emergency?
Por favor, necesito ayuda. Está borracho y creo que me va a pegar otra vez.
I will get someone to speak with you. Please stay on the line.
Hola, tengo su ubicación. Ayuda está en camino.
Getting past a language barrier is critical when first responders help Hoosiers. That's why the State 911 Board provides special tools for non-English speaking citizens to communicate with emergency services.
Si estás en peligro, aunque no hables inglés, podrás recibir ayuda en una emergencia rápidamente.
All Indiana 911 centers began offering translation services in over 240 languages in 2019. Now, people can send text messages for help in their native language to 911 and receive a translated text back from the dispatcher. It's of great help to the deaf and speech impaired and to those in select dangerous situations.
Cuando llame o envíe un texto al 911, un servicio de traducción se asegurará que entiendan lo que está diciendo.
For more information, visit in911.net.
Gracias.
911. Before you text, voice is best.
Texting enrolls you into recurring automated text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
Man, I love seeing the old gang at these reunions.
Did you see Brian? He's in better shape than he was 25 years ago. How is that even possible?
Yep, I ran into him a few weeks ago and had to ask. He told me he started taking Nugenix Total T2.
The testosterone booster?
Yeah, but it's way more than that now. It also skyrockets your nitric oxide in as little as 3 hours. I started taking it right away and I'm already seeing results.
I was wondering what you were doing. You seriously crushed me in that pickup game last week.
Yep, after 40, energy, strength, drive, it all starts going downhill. But with T2, I feel like my old self again. Stronger, leaner, and my energy is way up. My wife even noticed a difference. They're giving out complimentary bottles right now. Just send them a text.
Text CAR to 321-321 for your complimentary bottle of new Nugenix Total T2. Text now and you'll also get a free bottle of Nugenix Thermo X, our most powerful fat incinerator. That's CAR to 321-321.
These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. Product not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent
This
any
time
disease.
of year, it's about the snacking, and you want to do some elite-level snacking, right? Whether you're watching football, maybe it's a little bit of hoop, but seriously, on a cracker, a chip, a vegetable? How about a burger? The spreadability of Win Schuler's and their fantastic cheese spreads from original cheddar, sharp cheddar, bacon and cheddar, and jalapeno pepper. The spreadability of Win Schuler's, you can find it. Win Schuler's, Gordon's Food Service, in your favorite Meijer location across the state of Indiana.
You're listening to the Fan Morning Show on Sports Radio 93.5 and 107.5 The Fan.
All right, one final time here on a Thursday that in James Boyd and I's world feels like a Wednesday. Again, the Colts will get back to practice today. They push everything back a day with the Monday night game, so it'll be a Thursday, Friday, Saturday practice cadence for the Colts. Reminder, we said this earlier in the show, and good work by Mark Dykton. Joe Buck going to join us coming up 9 o'clock on Monday morning, so really looking forward to talking not only Colts 49ers with him, but some IU football, as he loves to throw that in.
Joe Buck's got nothing on our next person.
Pretty much on our Monday night telecast. Yeah, shout out in studio this morning. Several have asked on the YouTube camera. We have Lucas from the Netherlands here. Lucas Lejeune.
Yeah,
Am I
good
pronouncing
morning.
that
Thank
right?
you for having me.
Yeah, you bet, man. So you came over back, when was that? Or that was earlier this season, right? Or was that in the summer?
It was around the Combine, actually.
The Combine, oh,
yeah,
geez,
I went last March. I was here for the Combine for ESPN Netherlands, which was pretty cool.
Yeah, you are a huge Colts fan, cover of the NFL. You do great work. I think if you're a Colts fan, you've probably come across your work. And you are visiting or currently staying with your host family, right? Up there in Fishers?
Yeah, exactly. I was a former foreign exchange student in Fishers. Still stay with them every once in a while, and they're still happy to have me back. So that's very nice of them. But I saw the schedule last March for the Monday Night Football game and the Jaguars game later this week. Couldn't resist. So
2 home games in 6 days.
There you go.
I have to ask, when you booked this travel a month ago, Lucas,
yeah,
things are looking a little different. So how do you feel about Phillip Rivers being brought in and trying to save the season?
Yeah, well, I'm going to be completely honest. I was very excited when I saw that Rivers was going to get signed because I became a Colts fan in 2019. Actually, I became a Colts fan on the day Andrew Luck retired.
You are a true fan.
Yeah, I remember this story. You shared this in February. Can you explain this? Because there are a lot of Colts fans that think that's when you became a fan. Do we need to blame you for everything,
Andrew
Lucas?
Luck?
So share this.
Yeah, I sort of feel like I'm the problem at that point. But so the day I arrived for my exchange year, and that was in 2019. I knew already a lot about sport, but not necessarily about the NFL. But then we drove past Lucas Oil Stadium from the airport. It's like, oh, there's a stadium with my name on it. That's pretty cool. And at that moment, as we drove past, we were listening to, the radio here. And the news broke that, Andrew Luck retired. And my host family, knowing about football, they were like, what's happening? And, and then following the news later that day, I was like, okay, I have to find out who is this guy and what's happening here. And stayed on with the Colts ever since. So, but to answer your question, the year after that, of course, Phillip Rivers came in, and that's still the only playoff game I've seen him play, being a fan. So, I mean, that's, for me, I don't really pick any favorite players, but that was, if I have to say, a fun Colts quarterback I've seen play as of being a fan. Yeah, I'm excited to see Rivers in person this time.
That is Lucas from the Netherlands. He's over here to take in a couple of Colts games. Have you been inside of Lucas Oil Stadium for a Colts game yet?
I've been back in 2022, yes, for the Commanders game.
Got it.
Which was a different season as well, but
different is an understatement, brother. But yes, it was very
was
different.
that Taylor Heineke?
Yeah,
having some magic in that
Sam
game?
and that was when McLaurin caught that touchdown pass at the very end. So
that was Ellinger.
I think that was an Ellinger
Yep,
game.
Ellinger's played that game too. Yep.
That was that wasn't a Jeff Saturday special, not yet.
Lucas, they need to put you on the jumbotron or something on Monday night here for some of what you've seen here. And you were at the game over in you saw the last Colts win, right? You were at the game in Germany,
Berlin,
correct?
Yep.
What did you think of that experience? Did you go to the Frankfurt game the year prior?
I did go to the Frankfurt game in 2023, yes. And
what did you think of just Frankfurt, Berlin? Obviously, that was a super entertaining game, Colts and Falcons.
Well, and obviously we were the home team in Berlin on paper, right? So that way the Colts were able to do something more with marketing, being the home team, having a bigger fan center.
Yeah, I noticed that.
That was great. So speaking of, fan experience-wise, Berlin was definitely greater, as in they were both fantastic, but Berlin was bigger, was better. And we sort of got to know each other, our European fans from Germany, from England. We got to know each other in Frankfurt, but then we stayed in touch over a huge group chat we have in our Blue Crew Europe. They're listening right now, so shout out to them.
Shout out to the Blue Crew in Europe. I think I hopped on one of the podcasts with them.
Yeah, exactly.
Right before the game.
And so we sort of stayed in touch with each other, and then that Berlin game sort of felt like a reunion. And I feel like there's going to be a lot more of those in the future when the Colts might come to Germany again in the future. So.
Now, I've said this before. I'm not saying this because you're sitting next to me, but I am a fan of the international games. I think it's a great exposure. I went to the Colts game in Wembley back in 2016, and it was awesome to see, just how much joy, frankly, was there by once in a lifetime for some people. Certainly, Bernard Reimann has shared the story about how his NFL career, or NFL dreams, I should say, really kind of took off once he went to one of those international series games. If I gave you 3 European series, 3 European cities, I would say don't be biased, but I know you might be a little biased to your homeland. 3 European cities that the NFL has yet to go to that you would like to see them go to. What would be your 3? And make it somewhat realistic here.
Make it somewhat realistic.
Not like, we're talking about the Beech Grove Bears all morning long, or the, Lebanon Bears here.
So being realistic, let's see. I think Paris is one is high on their list. If you have to believe rumors on social media.
And don't worry, Lucas. I'll relay this message to Carly Arce Gordon and get it all squared away for my next Colts travel. But continue.
And we've yet to have a game in France, so Paris on there. All right.
But if you read on the internet, that supposedly that's going to happen very soon. So we'll see if there's any truth to that. They're also growing their fan base in Spain. Of course, we had the Madrid game between the Dolphins and the Commanders earlier this year. And they're building some fantastic stadiums there. The Barcelona stadium is still under construction, but I think once that's finished, they might do a Barcelona game as well. So we'll put Barcelona on 2. Well, and then
2 for 2 in my book.
James Boyd's happy.
If we're this one might be not as objective as the others, but let's put Amsterdam on 3. Just, if we can play in Frankfurt, we can play in Amsterdam.
Now, I'm with that.
What is the biggest stadium in Amsterdam? Is it, I guess the Frankfurt Stadium was only, like 40,000 people?
Yeah, Frankfurt is 50,000 seats.
Does Amsterdam have a city or a stadium that's that big already?
Yeah, Amsterdam, being the capital of the Netherlands, has the biggest stadium, 60,000 people. So,
really?
If you can play in Frankfurt, you can do it in Amsterdam. I do think you have to, there'll be more international people coming there, like like people from for like England or Germany traveling in, or if you send one of the big teams over, like the Chiefs or the Patriots, you might sell it out. But hopefully one day Amsterdam.
Well, if you guys run into Lucas this weekend, or certainly next Sunday at the Jacksonville game, definitely
he does own the stadium, by the way.
He does own the stadium.
Named after him.
You've got one.
So pay your respects.
You see these things he made us 3D printing the fan little coasters
there you
here.
go.
Yeah, man. I love this. This is when he said he did some 3D printing. I was curious if he could get Daniel Jones another cast here for the old Achilles injury. Lucas, thanks, man. Hope you enjoyed coming in studio.
Yeah, thank you for having me on. Really
that is Lucas Lejeune from the Netherlands. James Boyd, Kevin Bowen, Caleb Zuber. Great work today. Best wishes to Jeff Rickard and everything with his family. We're definitely thinking about you, Jeff, and hopefully he'll be back with us tomorrow. We'll talk to him 7 a.m. right here on The Fan.
93.5 and 107.5 The Fan. Your home for indie sports. Now with even more ways to listen.
Listen on air.